So there's a conversation between Code and Ada, and when they were talking about Damon's abilities, and he tells Ada, "Don't tell me you got other abilities that you haven't demonstrated yet." Could that possibly like show that Damon has more to his bag than we know of for
Of
now?
course, of course.
Definitely
He
so.
said
Yeah.
he tells Boruto that he's never went all out, and that he wants Boruto to get strong enough to the point where it pushes him to go all out. So
I
clearly, he
think he
has
has at
more
least
things in
one
the
more
bag.
ability. At least
Yeah,
one more. At least.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
Because I mean,
shown
I
if
think
you
he
if
effects
you
will.
in
look
a
at
lot
if you
of
look at
stuff.
Ada kind of have like she has multiple variations of an ability. With Damon, we only know that he has like one specific ability, so they're definitely going to give him something else. Like they have to.
Yeah, because Ada says that that would be interesting. She doesn't deny it, nor does she agree, but she just highlights something. That's why Damon says he doesn't mind telling him, but his sister said he couldn't.
Yeah.
So let me
I think
present
it's at least
something.
one. It might be related to his eyes.
So I got a question of why something wouldn't be the case when it probably should be, and I wonder if this is an oversight. Let's say Ada does get devoured, but she's still alive. She's not dead yet, just like Sasuke, who's still alive. If Daemon touches the tree, why wouldn't Ada just be freed?
Because she's already a tree.
Are you implementing that she was already a tree like a Shinju already at that point, or
So we know that the reason that Code made the claw grimes wasn't to get around Daemon's reflection, the negative intent that implies that they would obviously still be affected by the intent. They clearly have intent based on that. So because they're used to teleport away, that's the reason that Code even made the claw grimes in the first place. With that in mind, that means again they should be reflected in their intent. They're still alive when they're the tree. I mean, they are the clawgrams. They're the divine tree itself, just split apart. If you want to say ten tails, whatever. They latch onto the target. They're still alive, so they're continuing to siphon the chakra or whatever they're doing from Ada and all the victims in the tree. I'm assuming that intent should just be continuous. So why, when Daemon touches Ada, would it not just automatically have the divine tree devour itself? It's basically going to Kisame itself. Why wouldn't that be the case?
I get where you come. I don't know if that's the case though. Like for example, you said if Damon falls asleep on Ada example, I don't know if it's the case that they just can't place her inside of a tree because that wouldn't necessarily be an attack, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
if she's
the
already
thing, the
encased in the
major
tree, but
thing
I don't
that you're
know.
loading in there is saying that the the tree continues to have intent after it's already devoured Ada. I mean, the intent has already been actualized. Like it's not really relevant anymore.
It's continuing to hold on to the person, though.
I think it's
Especially
more
in the war
nostalgia.
arc, we see
Yeah,
that.
but that's just the action that follows from the intent. The intent has already been followed upon. Like that's not. It doesn't make. It's like if I eat you, right? Like if a tiger eats you and devours you and turns you into bones. Yeah, that's technically you, but it's not. You can't say that the intention of eating you has necessarily not been followed upon. Like those are two different things.
I think the intent continues through the present moment rather than beforehand.
Yeah, yeah, but that's just an assumption. We don't really know that, right? Like, Kishimoto could obviously make it the case that it's not like that, so it wouldn't be affected by that, right? Like it's all fiction. These things can change, so it's like I'm not gonna assume that it's the same. Because that would be a really shitty way of writing. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be
No, no,
very
no.
bad writing.
That's why
That's
it's
the
never
only
going to
reason I
happen.
disagree. If it wasn't bad writing, I'd be like, yeah, but that's just like, oh, he could just touch a tree. Like, why isn't he just going around touching trees then and just reflect? Why are they doing all this bullshit?
Yeah,
If he can
good
just
Yeah,
go
point.
around
but Juju,
reflecting people with his tree, it makes
it's
no sense.
it's already a
This is
problem
dumb.
because Daemon exists. Why isn't Daemon going around and killing Jura every time he invades the Hidden Leaf Village?
I don't know. Why.
Exactly,
Maybe he
it's
just doesn't- I don't
already
know. It doesn't make
unexplained.
sense.
It's
It
bad
Then he
doesn't
writing
make
can't
on
go
his
sense.
out.
part.
so
Maybe he
do
just
you,
doesn't care
You're
about
a
you, bro.
violation.
so
It
do you,
basically
Exactly.
it basically becomes a thing where we either have the choice of taking what we've been given off face value or believing there's more nuance. Because if we just take Koji off face value, for some reason, and it doesn't have to be power wise, even with Damon, they don't have a million in a chance of winning. So it just becomes a nuanced situation where either something happens that causes Damon to be put out of the chessboard, and it has to happen regardless of his strength, or there's just some type of nuance where Jura can either outpower him or outmaneuver him. It's just
That's not true.
poison situation.
That's not true. There's the third possibility that it's just going to continue being what it's been doing, to where Daemon's just not going to involve himself.
I mean, based on the latest chapter of how everything unfolds, I don't believe, like, I think something's gonna give. Like, I believe either Ada's most definitely gonna become a tree, but Himawari won't die. Like, something has to give. For
Yeah, I
Big
think they'll
Rising.
break even on that situation because Boruto has been winning too much, and you have to kind of justify the other side to an extent, especially Kawaki, because in hindsight, a lot of ninjas did die, but we don't care about NPC ninjas. So in my mind, we only lost Yodo. So you do kind of justify Kawaki indirectly in that because we did lose a couple dozen Jonin just off their initial invasion. But we do need to see the main squad lose. We need to see Boruto himself get humbled. We need to see what happens when a divine tree devours their target.
Did he not get humbled by Jura?
Wait, repeat what you said. I didn't hear you.
Did he not get humbled by Jura?
He did, but he's still alive. That's the situation. He got his cake and
Well, he has to be allowed to be humbled, right? Because if he's not alive, he doesn't learn.
But they're not pulling up like the Akatsuki though. Like they didn't take the lives of I forgot Shikamaru Sensei's name, but they're not
Asuma
dragging. Yeah, they're not.
Konohama was supposed to die.
Yeah,
Nigga
and he saved
Boruto
his
fucked up
master.
the timelines.
Like Boruto knew he was never gonna beat Jura, so that's a net win for him. He was able to save his master, and leave with his life, with there only being one death, which was Yodo.
I give Matsuri that dub.
But at the same token, it's hard when Kashin Koji says, "I never know if my choice was correct or not until I see the outcome." That's why he only relays what he believes is vital to people until he sees the outcome. Like, I don't know if the apple's gonna fall, how far it's gonna fall from the tree until it happens. So Ada turning into a tree, and him seeing Himawari die. One of them has to give. Obviously, Himawari won't die.
I agree with
He
you.
will become a tree.
Plus, think about it this way: what was the pivotal point with Ada and Koji in the last arc? He was using Ada to get live footage, basically, or live intel of what was going on, so he could better maneuver. If you lose Ada, that's a big debuff to Team Boruto because now you lose her clairvoyance, and you basically have not Amado, my words. You basically have Koji flying into the dark to an extent where he has to believe a decision that he made will turn out for the best, which could potentially further antagonize him to Boruto, who has already stated multiple times where he's not going to go as far as Koji. If he's told Iruka Sensei needs to die for some reason to get a good future, Boruto's going to say, no, I'm not going to risk Iruka Sensei's life. I'm going to go save him regardless of what's going to happen next.
And that's exactly what happens when he goes and interferes. Kashin Koji's his timeline changes, and he's like, he didn't even foresee this happening because something changed. Boruto did something to change it.
Yeah.
See, the problem, Ryzen, with saying that we need a major death, in Naruto Part 1, we had one major death in Hiruzen. In Shippuden, we had 3. There was Asuma, there was Neji, and there was Jiraiya. In Boruto Part 1, we had 0. 0 major characters died. You can say Mugino, but then I would just say that's the Yodo equivalent.
Chill, Onoki died. Chill.
In the manga.
Oh, we're using the anime. I thought we were using the anime. If we're using manga, yeah, there have been none.
Are you implying that Himawari should die?
In Boruto Part 1, there were 0
Himawari's
major
not
deaths,
gonna
but
die.
the stakes were higher than ever before because of Ishiki. So there don't need to be stakes to progress any sort of development in this sort of regard. They can do other things. I mean, Boruto's arguably more developed than Naruto ever was, and again, Boruto Part 1 had no major deaths.
I don't know, man. Kagura died.
But the thing it becomes like, if we go back to Shippuden, if we go back to
Naruto.
Naruto, for the past how many ever chapters in Naruto, we've been hearing about, oh yeah, there's 10 Tails. We can't let 10 Tails revive. If 10 Tails revived, we're screwed. So imagine going through Naruto but never getting 10 Tails. They wrote it in a way where not every Jinchuriki died, but we still got 10 Tails. So we've been hearing that, oh yeah, the divine trees want to devour a target. And they've been saying it since they've been introduced. Wouldn't it kind of feel weird if we never get to see the validation of at least one divine tree from getting their target, because we know
that's the same with Naruto. We've
Nah,
seen outcomes.
because it's like we see Ada in the tree.
That's not true. No, we don't need to see the bad guys win in order to understand what that would look like. If the bad guy wants to blow up the world, obviously we're not going to see that because the bad guy's never going to get that because then the story's just over. Same with Orochimaru destroying the Leaf Village. Same with the Akatsuki doing a whole bunch of different things. Like, they don't have to win for us to understand the stakes that are there because of the potential of what they want to do, and that they will do it if the good guys don't stop them.
I mean, we've
Well, basically what Ood is saying is like, irregardless of the thing being actualized, as long as they have the intent to follow through with what they're trying to do, and the heroes stop them from doing it, that's the only thing that matters. That's all we care about. We don't
the
care.
hero's the obstacle.
It doesn't have to, like, obviously we love things like the Pain arc, right? How like Pain flies in the sky and he destroys the village, and it's like, damn, Naruto actually has to show up and do some amazing shit. Like, yeah, that's cool as far as story progression, but you don't need those things in order to progress the plot. There's obviously other ways, which we've seen in Boruto. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely, I agree with him there. So
also, if I were to make a prediction, I think Two Blue Vortex is going to have one major death, that being Koji. I don't think it's going to be Ada or Daemon or anything like that. I think it's going to be Koji.
I was about to say, y'all not looking at the bigger picture. Koji is about to die this arc, not Ada or
exactly.
Koji's not dying, brother.
Listen, them losing Koji will be a big hit to Boruto because they use Koji's, timeline to be able to predict certain outcomes. So losing Koji will be a big hit for Team Boruto.
Yeah, for the whole team. It's bigger than losing Ada.
Ramifications. That's the ramifications everybody wants. Because if you think about it like this. If we kill off Ada, right, aside from the fan base and aside from a select few within the village, right, disregarding everybody's in love with her because of her ability. I'm talking like historically, like people who genuinely care about this girl. It's a select few. So I don't think that's that big of a deal. Like, we can go on to the story like, yeah, Ada's dead, all sucks. We can't spy on anybody no more. But if we lose Koji, right, we give Koji, like, let's say Koji sacrifices himself and gives one last directive to Boruto. And it's like, okay, if you follow this plan, everything will work. But I'm not going to be here no more to tell you any changes that may occur. So stick to this plan. And he just has no choice but to trust him with the information he gives him, on whether it be his dying bed or before he decides to make a final sacrifice, because he sees maybe in the 10, let's say in the 10 futures that he sees when he gets an update, in 7 of them, when he makes this sacrifice, everything works out. But in 3 of them, he makes the sacrifice, things still don't work out, but he has no choice but to trust that Boruto may take one of those 7 routes or vice versa, so. I think it's a lot of ramifications that could come from that. Because if we still stick with this, because think about it real quick. If Koji stays alive, we're going to continue getting what-if scenarios and what-if power-ups. People are still going to be like, oh, next arc, dang, Konohamaru, Sarada, and Shikamaru died in this future. Boom, the end of the arc we prevented from happening. It's just going to be a continuous cycle because Koji's there.
I mean, Koji says in the last chapter, I think you'd agree that we ought to at least change any future where Ada and Himawari die. So, I mean, you can implement that. If he wants, he needs to change any future where that's possible. And the only way that he can do it is how he sees fit. So he could sacrifice his life in order for that to happen.
I think they already have started changing those futures, by the way. In fact, they might have already changed all the futures. Koji could even be lying to Inojin right now. What we see in this latest chapter with Himawari and Ada dead, my personal theory, and I was talking to Ryzen about this, I'm curious what y'all think about this. I think when he's saying Himawari dead, he's viewing a memory or a future that's already been snuffed out because it already happened in the past. He's viewing chapter 11. If Inojin didn't act there, Himawari is outside of the village, Jura's just going to kill Himawari. And similarly with Ada, I think that's a future that's already not come to pass as well. I think that's a future to where Daemon never got revived. So I don't even know if it is possible for Ada to be in that situation going forward with the current present, with the current timeline.
Yeah, I've been saying this could be a whole training arc, to be honest. Like, this could be a training arc for the next arc when Otsutsuki.
I'm not gonna lie, I think that's a good theory.
Koji dying will set the real tone for Team Boruto having to act without their greatest tool, being able to see different outcomes and knowing that whatever move they make, knowing that they can't predict the future or see the future of how it would turn out, that's their last move. So they have to play very careful.
Yeah, I mean, Ada might have potential, but Koji's been actually using his potential. Koji's been the one who's been useful, not really Ada. Same with Daemon.
So it's like
No,
with Koji alive, like,
I think no, I think Ada definitely has been sort of useful, at least in the recent chapters.
Ada's been useful, but I'm comparing the two. So I'm not saying Ada's not been useful. I'm saying in comparison to Koji, Koji's been the most useful. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think with the recent chapters, what Shikamaru is trying to do, at least from his envision, is like bringing these two things together, like trying to create the ultimate team. And I think when you look at their team, they have all of the components of like sort of overcoming Mamushi. So that's why I kind of lean back to your theory that, you know, the future that we're seeing isn't something that's, you know, being shown right now. It's already a future that's that corresponds and correlates to the things that we saw earlier on in Boruto TBV. So yeah, like you said, if Daemon wasn't revived, blah blah blah, I think that makes sense.
If Himawari dies, I wouldn't mind, so that way we can see a bald Inojin. I really wouldn't mind it, because Boruto literally says, "I'll shave your fucking head." I really wouldn't mind.
And then I guess it just becomes a thing that if and when Koji dies, what specifically did he warn Boruto about, or what multiple things did he warn Boruto about? Because we can kind of go back to chapter 1 of just Boruto and then have Boruto allude to this could have been a Koji situation where he says, I guess this was the only possible outcome. So it could have, for all intents and purposes, been something that he was fighting against, but then he finally saw Koji's logic to where whatever led to this battle, whatever reason why this battle's happening, it has to happen.
So I'll be honest, Ryzen, with that, is this the only possible way this could have gone down or whatever he says? Whereas that's cool for him to be speaking literally about an event, that's just an extra layer on top that's only adding. I do think in a way, it takes away if he's not just talking about it like poetically and like dramatically with Kawaki. So I'd rather it not be in reference to future timeline, direction shenanigans. But
I like the more poetic way where it's just there. If it's a Koji situation, it kind of becomes a, I'm trying to run from destiny, and I'm trying to dodge destiny, but destiny just came right at me.
It feels like, in a way, it takes away the tragedy of it, and he's just talking more like logically in a way, like, oh yeah, it's crazy that it went down this way, huh?
Yeah, I was told it was gonna happen, and I didn't want to believe it, but we're here, the village is destroyed. You said the exact same sentence Koji hypothetically told me you were gonna say. So I guess I have to fight you now.
I have a question. Do you guys think if Ada does become a Shinju, do you think she can use her omnipotence to a good degree? And if so, who would she fight? Because I really think she'll fight Sarada.
I feel like if she does become a Shinju,
she would destroy Sarada if that happened.
Yeah.
Like, I would feel so bad for Sarada.
No, because Sarada can whip out her MS. We get to see something different from her. We have yet to see her Susanoo. We have yet to see a lot of things that she could do. But I'm more curious about Ada's ability as a tree. Could she use her omnipotence at a really well degree?
I feel like it would just have to depend on how that transfers over, because we know Kekkei Genkais aren't all the same. At least, I'm not saying the Shinjutsu is a Kekkei Genkai, but in Hidari's case, he didn't inherit the Sharingan, which is a dojutsu. In Ryu's case, because he's inheriting Shinki's chakra, he was able to use Shinki's Kekkei Genkai. So it would just have to depend on, would that hypothetical Shinju have omnipotence ingrained in her chakra, or would it be something else that only the real Ada has? Like, oh, maybe it's tied to her Shenragan, maybe it's tied to her DNA now. So I feel like it would have to depend on how the power transfers to the Shinju, because it doesn't seem to be an exact one-to-one transfer if we use Hidari as an example.
Yeah, I don't think a Shinju Ada would have omnipotence. I think that's just way too OP, because at that point she could just remove the concept of chakra itself.
Yeah.
For the opponent she's fighting.
Bro. She can do anything she desires, basically. Anything she wants to bring to reality, she can do, bro. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, she can also take things away from reality. Oh, she's fighting Sarada. Let me just use omnipotence. Hey, Sarada, you don't exist anymore.
Like, bro, it's just too broken, bro. Like,
the reason why I say like she might fight, because she does say like, hey, if anybody was to kill me, it was Suguri and Sarada. Yeah, like y'all can kill me. So I feel like that would highlight a potential fight for like a Ada, Shinju Ada. Like she would have to fight Sarada. Like that.
I feel like it works it works, but you have to limit that Ada Shinju by just like either locking omnipotence away or heavily limiting it. Because if you argue that she can use omnipotence now, and because of the divine tree's unique composition, she does have more control because she is kind of closer to an Otsutsuki. It just becomes a situation like what you guys said. Yeah, she can just snap her fingers, and reality got rewritten to where where Sarada's not even a shinobi anymore, or Sarada doesn't even have a Sharingan anymore. So it works, but you have to heavily limit omnipotence. Once that omnipotence box is open, it'll be really hard to close in this stage of the series, basically.
There's also like a separate alternative where like they just make Sarada insanely overpowered and she can just overcome it by some magical mythical way, which would be insane because I'm pretty sure we all love Sarada, so it's like
her MS is already broken, putting black holes and basically one tapping Ryu. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised she does that.
Nah, watch this. She gets.
Her destiny is to be the Hokage, and we all know what it means to be the Hokage. And I mean, like she is going to have to be either comparable to people like Boruto or even arguably stronger than people like Boruto and Kawaki to, put them in their place. Especially someone like Kawaki, who you obviously have to have some sort of control over, and potentially, Momoshiki if he pops up in Boruto's body. That's kind of like her destiny. So, like narratively, it makes it sort of consistent that she would be stronger than him. And I mean, that's really the only way I could think that they could write in the story of her overcoming something like that. So
but Freegan, what do you think?
The shutdown. So
what happened?
I had to shut down because my mic wasn't working.
But we can hear you now. So if you wanted to give your input.
Y'all can hear me though?
Yeah, we hear you too.
Yeah, we can hear you, Black Uchiha. I know you want to get game on this Sarada shit, bro. Please, bro. Please say something.
That's why I'm here tweaking out. Like, what's
Sarada's my love. So Black Uchiha, please show love on this Sarada, bro.
Well, I guess I'll ask this question. If you guys had to write in a weakness for omnipotence, what would it be? And would you use a weakness that's already been in the series before? For example, the Mangekyo Sharingan, you can use it a limited number of times and you go blind. For Shisui, his Koto Matsukami, there was a cooldown on it. It was like 3 days for him and like 10 years for Danzo or something ridiculous. Would you have it be like similar to like the red pill for Choji, to where if he takes it, he's gonna die? What weakness would you write in for omnipotence?
I was gonna say chakra, but it's already out since Ada already used it. Yeah,
that's another one. No, that's a fair one because Sasuke Chidori, he can only use it 3 times a day in part 1. That's another weakness.
Is this specifically under the condition that Sarada is the one mainly fighting against like someone like Ada?
I don't think that happened either way. Well, first things first, if Ada becomes a Shinju, would she have access to omnipotence? Because would she be no?
That's what they're saying. Hypothetically, she does, and then if she does, what would be the way to get around it?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it'd be cooked. It'd be over.
It would probably be something similar to Attack on Titan, the final season. So kind of spoilers if you've seen it, but the founding Titan power is like the most OP power of all time, but you can't use it unless you're touching someone of royal blood. So it could be similar for Ada. It arguably already is with that case, but that could be something that they do.
Yeah.
I would give her the Kodo Matsukami treatment, bro. I'm sorry. Anything.
Yeah, like I think the only weakness is if they wrote in some insanely overpowered genjutsu where like Sarada could literally rewrite reality or some crazy shit. That's literally the only way.
Yeah, right now
you gotta give Sarada the she doesn't go blind treatment. If you're gonna give her that treatment, you gotta
like what if she just puts like Ada in an insanely overpowered genjutsu and just like controls her desire, similar to like how, I don't know, like an MS would control a Jinchuriki of some sort. Like, I don't know, maybe if she did something like that, I don't know. That's the only way I could think of that makes sense for Sarada.
I can't see it. We too deep into it.
But yeah, she is just too. That would make sense because like Ada's just insanely overpowered. So it's like I can't think of a reasonable way that would fit with that sort of.
You could also have more people immune
hypothetically
to whatever omnipotence.
Like, what if she damn, y'all keep on making me forget my train of thought. Hold on, give me a second. All right, refresh my memory.
We're talking about
He was asking you about what a potential weakness would be of omnipotence.
If Ada were to become a Shinju and fight Sarada and Sumire. And I think a potential answer could also be Sarada and Sumire would continue to be immune because Ada and the tree wants them to be immune. Essentially, the tree person fighting against their own Shinju in a sense. Could be really cool.
I think that makes sense. That's consistent with like Matsuri. Like maybe they could use their emotions against the Shinju. Maybe that could be a weakness. Yeah.
I think that might be thematically the best one.
Wild question. Do you guys think that if Ada so happens to get devoured, do you think that she'll backdoor Amado? I mean not Amado, Jura.
Okay. So give her
I think
the
Hidari
Hidari
and Loki plotting to do that already, boy.
Hidari, I could probably bet that. But no, Ada probably wouldn't though. It just seemed it don't seem like she's the type to backstab her leader. Like Amato's still alive.
I feel like it just depends on the fact that the divine trees do have emotions. So a divine tree Ada would be tied to Kawaki the most. So if that Ada inherits, if that divine tree inherits Ada's like obsession or like deep love for Kawaki, would it be enough to go against the hive mind that is Jura? Because Jura seemed to allude that the divine trees are susceptible to emotions, and emotions could be potentially their downfall. So I feel like it would just depend on how strong that emotion is.
And Konohamaru. Might just mirror Matsuri and Konohamaru.
Plus, if Ada becomes a Shinju, she'll probably know where Koji is from the moment she's born.
Yeah, if she gets the fucking clairvoyance, it's over, bro.
Nah, she's not getting the Sharingan. It's over. Just like how Sasuke did the Sharingan. Yeah, she can't get the Sharingan.
Well, let's say she doesn't have Senrigan. She might just be able to use her memories to remember where he is.
Because she are. Ooh.
Yeah, because they do have a vague sense of self. If she just remembers Orochimaru's hideouts, that's a clue right there.
Yeah.
Like if she just remembers hideouts, then
could be a good way to get Koji off the board.
Y'all just writing in some bogus stuff. She can't become a Shinju. He just can't do it. If he does it, there's no way to make it make sense. It's just cooked, bro. It's cooked.
It would be a good opportunity to get an Ada backstory, though. I will say that. Similar to how we got a Moegi backstory for the most part through Matsuri.
Yeah. But overall,
and Kawaki.
I find it very creepy that Mamushi is able to creep up on Ada.
Yeah, true. But overall, I don't think.
Do y'all think that's because he has like some sort of ocular ability? Because I saw some people theorizing that. Or do y'all think that's because specifically he has this emotional connection with Ada? Like, what do you think he did there?
I think wasn't it like Ada invading in their mind space, so he like kind of like hacked it.
Yeah, it's like he hacked her brain or some weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how did he hack it? Like, I have no idea.
I mean, ninjas, and like those beings, you can say that they have like abnormal abilities where they can like do things that other ninjas can do. So like they're like thousands of years above them,
and like
not by age, but like by knowledge.
And it did seem like they each had to an extent a special ability, so that could just be one of Mamushi's own, just one of many special abilities, to where he seems to have a connection to when Ada uses her Senrigan to live view Mamushi. Because
can I also ask a separate question?
Yeah.
Why do y'all think it's the case that the weakness is specifically going for his eyes? Do y'all think that implies that the eyes grant some sort of like power to Mamushi that makes him strong? Or do y'all think that's because of some separate reason?
It was stated because of the separation, right? That he can split himself from his eyes.
Yeah, I think it's just an eye ability. It's like how Sasuke lost his Uber by getting his Rinnegan destroyed. It's just an eye. It's just an eye situation to where the ability is in those eyes. So kind of like how Hidari was able to spawn claw marks within his field of vision. If I'm remembering right, correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm guessing it's just those are just eye abilities they have in general, to where you have to destroy the eye to get rid of the ability. Correct me if I'm wrong. Matsuri had the ability to hear what the root system under the earth was saying. I'm a bit fuzzy on that.
Yeah, she
Matsuri's
says like the
trees.
trees were talking as if she could communicate with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that would be her unique ability to where she could communicate with trees.
I think it's probably similar to the claw grime, to where they keep saying every time they kill a claw grime, and then more come out of the dead claw grime. It doesn't even matter if you kill him; you got to destroy the body because otherwise more can just come on out. It's almost pointless to keep fighting like that.
Yeah, true. But
Okay.
my thing is, like, hypothetically, if she does get devoured, let's say Ada gets devoured, do we see her dying, or
Nah,
she's just coming back?
she'll
ASAP?
come back if she gets
Yeah.
devoured. I think so.
Unfortunately.
You don't like
I
Ada's
think it's
character?
fortunate.
It's not that I don't like Ada. I just want to see more of her action wise. Like Daemon got more hands on in screen than Ada. All she does is sit back and spy on people for the most part.
Yeah, basically he wants to see Ada throw hands, and if she's a Shinju, she's probably gonna be throwing hands for sure. Like
I wouldn't mind the story of Ada turning into a tree, because I'm on that wave of, she did tell Sarada and Sumire, like, hey, just kill me. And like, I really want to see that be very much explored, but I don't know. I just want to see Ada fight. She just sits back and just spies on people. Like, that's just so invasive.
You would need a really big reason to write it in, but I think a really cool way to get to the Ada tree situation would be if Ada herself chose it, not as a sacrifice, but her willingly wanting to do it for whatever reason.
You know, I was pondering on that idea. Like, let's say Ada does become a tree, right? Like, you see it. Remember when Adari was introduced and we saw like how he was against Sarada? Like, I wouldn't be so far-fetched if Ada just backdoored Jura at all. I would love to see that. It's so cool to see, because like,
bro, I'm crying.
Adari was looking at Sarada, and I'm like, who's to say? Let's say Shinju Ada does become a thing, right? What if she sees Daemon? Who's to say she's gonna harm Daemon?
Low key, it could be a strategy they employ. Like, if Ada somehow knows her Shinju self will just have her consciousness and she just pretends to play along, she can do basically whatever she wants. Like, Jura's gonna think she's a good guy on Jura's side, and then she could just take out all the Shinju. Basically, double agent like Itachi and the Akatsuki.
But I'm pretty sure can't Jura like connect to her thoughts?
What was the Matsuri crying explanation with Jura? That he was saying it, or
let me go to the chapter, but I think he was able to sense her emotions and also see through her eyes. Let me just double check.
I really would love that theory of her backdooring the whole Shinju. I think that would be so cool.
I just don't find it likely that like anybody would backdoor big daddy Jura, bro. Like, cause they say he is the strongest they say he is the best for a reason. There is a reason that he's pointed out. I just don't find it very likely that one of these people are just gonna be able to just backdoor him like that easily. Like, Jura, he's not dumb. They got smart too, bro. Like, I know he's a baby, he's a freshling, but hey, bro, he's not gonna get caught lacking, bro. Trust
the
me.
thing is, go ahead, Bar.
No, I was about to say they could try to do something to the divine tree. I know they themselves are divine trees, but most of the times my thing is, Kawaki and Boruto, if they fight together, they could probably defeat Jura. It's just that he'll summon the divine tree and it'll heal him in 2.5. If they could find a way to like get Jura away from the divine tree once he actually does get pieced up by those two, like, I think that could be an efficient way to like backstab Jura, but that's the only way.
Man, the coldest introduction that Kawaki had, stabbing Jura through the eye, was probably like the most coldest thing, like, relative of Boruto stepping on Code's face, bro. Like, I can't get that out of my head.
The thing is, these past 3 years, we know that Kawaki's been relatively safe, especially through the Amado defense thing. But for the most part, he's not been really trying to, from what we've seen, go out to go hunt down Boruto or kill Otsutsuki or whatever. He's not been in danger, especially with Ada and Daemon by his side. And Ada loves Kawaki. She doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. If Kawaki died or something tragically bad happened to Kawaki, it'd be curtains for Ada. She just wouldn't care about anything anymore. It'd be like if Sakura lost Sasuke. She would just retire being a ninja. She might just off herself, screw Sarada and Sumire doing it. She'll just do it herself. So the farther that Kawaki goes in this, and the longer this goes on, the more risk Kawaki's taking on himself, and the more likely it is that if he doesn't just die from whatever threat, his body's just going to give out on its own. Ada obviously doesn't want that, and she should be able to see that all that's happening with the Senrigan, and just intuition in general, just seeing Kawaki in the same way that Sakura could just tell Sasuke was falling into darkness throughout all of part 1. The longer this goes on, the more desperate Ada's going to become, the more likely she is to act on her own or to come up with some crazy plan to just end all this all at once.
You know, I hate, people give me flack for this. I hate Kawaki as a character in Two Blue Vortex. I feel like Ryzen. Remember?
Boom.
Ryzen. I don't remember if you
bombs.
remember when we were in that Twitter Space chat with me, you, and a couple of the people when we were talking about like the monthlies. But I know that Kawaki wasn't in any sense of danger, but this man just slacked off the whole entire time Boruto's been training. Granted, the situations were very different, but it's just like Kawaki to me is just like too relaxed. He doesn't see the stakes that presents itself, and I just feel like maybe it's like bad writing, but I really don't like Kawaki as a character. I really don't.
You know, I'm with you there. I don't like Kawaki as a character, but I don't think it's necessarily bad writing, because look at Kawaki as a character. He even says it himself. Yeah. He was a husk of a man. he had no like real goal. Naruto was the thing that breathed life in him. Right now, Naruto is sealed. Kawaki's under the assumption that once everything happens, he's gonna off himself. Naruto's gonna hate him. So I feel like even though we do know he did have like some combat training, he kind of lost his drive. What made Kawaki into that character that people initially liked, that's gone. He lost the drive to even care. So I feel like he just lost his purpose to an extent. Kind of like, if I had to compare it, it would be like Vegeta's early days when Goku was dead, where he just lost his complete drive, and he just like went along with the motions at that point.
But look at the stakes look at the stakes that presented itself. You knew at any given point, like you knew from the end of the series, like, hey, I gotta kill. He even tells Naruto this. He's like, yo, I want to protect you. My life revolves around you. And like, if you know you got to protect someone and you know you have to go kill Boruto or fight Code or do whatever you have to do, you know this is going to happen. And yeah, he did train and he had some sort of training, but he did nothing. Like I said, I understand that the two situations compared to Boruto and Kawaki are different, but Kawaki slacked off so bad.
Oh, 100%. I'm with you.
That Boruto pulled up and he's like, you trash.
I can't. My thing is we can't really compare him to anything, because his ascension, like compared to Boruto, is like it's like a joke. Like we understand why it's a joke. Like the only thing I could probably say maybe we could probably compare him to would be Code. But he never really fought against Code, so we can't really even get that.
Look at the situation when he's so desperate. He's like, bro, I really need to power up. He doesn't go through a training montage. He literally goes to Amado, threatens him, use a failsafe to unlock more power. Are you freaking kidding me?
But
that's badass. Why don't you like that?
You know
like,
that
that, bro. Get more power.
Listen. You know what that reminds me of?
Bro, like,
he's
so passionate, bro.
Listen. That reminds me of Dragon Ball Super, and like, bro, I feel a tingling feeling on my back. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Bro. Like, that's some bad writing.
Yeah.
Scientific Ninja Tech.
I can get Wavy's point. I just think it's more so Kawaki's a bumbling idiot than it being bad writing. We know he's a dumbass. We know he doesn't think things through. Well, because we got to think about it this way. Like it or not, what did Kawaki do at the end of part 1? He basically gave Code a free buffet. If Code was slightly more competent, Kawaki could be eating taiyaki right now, and the world would be ending. So, oh damn it, I forgot. Code can eat Boruto at any time, and the world ends. So I do see the complacency. If Code was a little more competent, the world would have ended without Kawaki being able to do shit. So I see Wavy's point, because he could have been hunting down Code. He could have been trying to be more proactive, but that just leads to Kawaki having no real plan.
Exactly.
He wants to kill
I blame the time skip being written poorly.
Wait a minute. Ada could have learned Kawaki at any time. Ada could have learned Kawaki at any time. What are you doing?
We know Ada has a short attention span. She doesn't look at everything like all the time. She even said she wouldn't peek at Boruto. So she wasn't peeking at Boruto until he came to the village.
Yeah.
So when Sasuke and Boruto were fighting Code, ow. Wait.
Somebody about to blow up the building.
I guess you could say proof of this is the fact that Code did actually find Boruto during the time skip. I guess one way to get around this would be they know that he's with Sasuke, and so they're assuming that Sasuke can keep him safe.
But give me
that's not even a good assumption.
Give me a good reason why Kawaki.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Kawaki's a bum.
Give me a good
It's not about
reason
strength,
why
it's about
Kawaki.
confidence. And Sasuke did keep him safe. Boruto did get away. It's not about beating Code, it's about keeping Boruto safe. And Boruto was kept safe from
The problem
Code.
becomes, do we give Kawaki credit for him potentially believing Sasuke's competent enough to keep that idiot safe? Or do we throw him under the bus because it could have easily went the other way of Boruto getting devoured and then Otsutsuki hypothetically
I just think Kawaki is like, just thinks that at his maximum potential, even if Code does devour Boruto and gets that power, he's just not gonna be able to beat him in a fight. Like, he just thinks he's stronger now.
Kawaki knew the stakes. Kawaki knew the stakes of what everything was happening. He knew that Boruto was going to be, with Sasuke. Sasuke took him away. Now Sasuke's this is his third time being labeled a traitor. So now Sasuke goes through the ropes. He knows this shit. He's like, yo, I know how this works. I know what to do. But Kawaki just sits there for the next time skip and does absolutely nothing. He doesn't do anything.
Actually, wait, I have a question. How do we not know that like Kawaki was searching for them, but they were just like
yeah, it's just the time skip's poorly written in that regard. We have no idea.
It's fairly ambiguous as to like whether or not we actually know what Kawaki was doing, but we can't
especially
say for
if
sure
anything, I'd argue it's alluded to that Kawaki was based on chapter 80 when Ada's talking to Boruto at the very end there. Ada's saying that no matter how much Kawaki badgers her about it, she's just not going to reveal where Boruto is. And so that's probably alluding to that Kawaki probably wouldn't be doing that.
His trust is so strong in Ada. He's not going to take the initiative. It's just that drive. He lost. He don't got that dog in him no more.
That's what I'm saying. That just supports the claim that Kawaki didn't.
And also, they don't say that he wasn't training during a time skip. By the way, he just
he was combat. He was combat training. He was pure combat.
Yeah, exactly. He's. I mean, from at least in the anime, from
doesn't
like,
make sense.
Baby, like he's been raised to train and to train very violently. So I doubt that he would have stopped training.
Based on the code arc, it doesn't make sense for him to do that.
Headcanon wise, you can assume that he did combat training with Mitsuki over the time skip.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing we can say.
But why would he do that? He's not a ninja. He doesn't want to be. It takes too long. He said that in the code.
He grew up fighting to train. I mean, he
doesn't have to be a ninja. He doesn't need to be a ninja to train, right? Like that's not really the thing. He just doesn't want to learn ninjutsu and do the things that a shinobi does. He just wants to fight.
No. What I'm saying is that way of training, he's already disregarded because it's going to take 3, 5, 10 years to get to Code's level. I don't want to do that. I need the power now.
Actually, forget all that. Because if we even go back to the conversation Boruto had, he alludes to the fact that there's a future where Kawaki frees Naruto and he trains with Naruto, and Kawaki did not make that decision. Yes. So I don't even think he's been trained. I'm gonna take back my statement.
It's just unfortunately in my mind, it feels like Kawaki himself would have benefited from ninja training rather than pure combat training, just because of who Kawaki is, not because the ninja way of training is inherently better. It just, I feel like it would have fit Kawaki more. And like what Uchi has said, it could have been possible for Kawaki to get that training from Naruto, and within that 3-year time frame, get to a significant amount of power. And then once those limiters get removed, it would only benefit him. But they ran out of time. There's no time for Kawaki to go through years of training now. So they do need quick is better. They do need drug addict Kawaki. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, exactly. Now they need that's the only reason he's doing it. Yeah.
I mean,
Amado's probably doing some funny money. It took him 3 years to realize, Amado's probably doing something crazy.
So stupid, bro.
Was it only 3 years though?
It
could have been Kawaki's entire life.
But I mean, like, I think, even if you look at like what he's doing in the time skip compared to what he was doing, particularly in the code fight, he does seem more mature as an Otsutsuki. Like he has more tomos in his eyes, or dharma wheels is what I would call it, in his eyes. Yeah. Which is usually an entailment of power, as we can see with Ishiki and Jigen. And also, we see him flying around, right? We just see him.
Yeah.
It just seems like he's more accustomed to his powers. So I mean, I think that is implicit of either yes, he was training and that allowed him to unlock this power, or maybe he was just getting stronger because the ossification process. Who knows?
I think
But
I think
yeah,
there's a base with that, like
could be
both him and
both.
Boruto, like
Mhm.
adjusted to their base Otsutsuki like things that they can do with their body.
Kawaki's introduction when he sees Boruto when they fight like the Krogrimes and Boruto fights Code. You know what I mean? Kawaki's like sees that Code's on the floor. He's like, yo, I can probably take him. Like Kawaki's a laid back character. Kawaki has nothing in his bag, like showing that he sees the sense of urgency of what's going on.
I feel like part of the problem with that is we know Kawaki has another power up. Even when he was limited, he had the V2 of Karma. We just don't know where Ikemoto's going with it. Can Kawaki fully utilize V2 Karma? Can he fully tap into it at will? Or does it need to be an emotional issue? So I feel like until we see that, we haven't really seen what Kawaki's full potential can be.
Yep.
Because we don't know the depths of what we don't know the depths of his karma that he can tap into.
My problem with that, it's so clear he was able to just do it at will in the Code arc. You could say he was emotional in the Code arc. It was not crazy.
That he could do it at will. Why do you think he could do it at will in the Code arc?
I was about to say,
basically
the fact remains that every time we've seen the horn, it's because he thought Naruto was in danger.
Yeah,
that's very different. Naruto was about to get popped, and then he came out there and was like, no, and then saves him. That's different.
That's not different because Jigen pops up, and in this guy's head, he spent the last 7+ years getting mentally abused, physically abused, and convinced that this is the strongest person alive. He pops up randomly in the living room. Yeah, that's like, yeah, bro, Naruto, you're about to die. So that's kind of the same as seeing a giant Rasengan going right to Naruto's face and his head. What's stopping Jigen from kicking Naruto's head right off of his shoulders?
I guess the thing that makes me suspicious about it is like we've seen him in instances where it makes sense he would use the V2 form. That gives him the most amount of power. That makes him most effective as a combatant. He just doesn't use it. So it's like, can he really just go into it if he just wants to? Like,
he still went.
It might just be that same mental barrier as the manga Sharingan.
He still went and threatened Amado. He still went and threatened Amado to help him unlock a new form for him.
Well, to be fair, I do think it's also just every shonen power-up of all time to where they naturally progress to that form instead of starting in it. Sasuke did the same thing with his curse mark. Super Saiyan, you always progress one level at a time. I think Kawaki just gets knocked out before he can get to the V2 form, usually.
So y'all don't think it's just the creative? Because I think the more time goes by, the more I think the possibility that it's just a creative decision. Ikemoto's like, yeah, they're as strong as they were in the Horn State, but we're not drawing the Horn State.
I feel like for that to work, he has to explain it because we went so long with having true essence and then having that horned karma form. So unless he can like explain it, like kind of how like Dragon Ball Z did it, where we've decided that base Super Saiyan is most optimal, so I'm gonna try to conserve my stamina and learn how to use this form as my base. So unless Ikemoto does that, it would feel really off if they just never acknowledge the horn forms again. I feel like that.
I think they should. I think they should acknowledge them again. But it's just like based off of how they've been writing it.
It would make no sense for him to get that form and not. It's like getting Super Saiyan 3, fighting against an opponent that has upper levels of Super Saiyan 3 power, say someone like Jura, and he just never uses the form. That just makes no sense.
I agree. They definitely do have to explain it. And like they could just say, oh yeah, that form gives me a ton of power, but here's drawback A through C that we're just now learning about. That kind of makes Karma V1
But we've
better.
never seen a drawback. Even when he initially uses the form against Code, there seems to be no drawback. And
Exactly.
I think that's inconsistent with his like narrative, which is to be an adequate vessel for Ishiki's power. So if he has drawbacks, that really that makes no sense to me either with the writing.
Agree.
Like that's
I don't know.
Especially after saying Jigen did have the drawbacks.
I think
exactly.
I think the way his form probably works is maybe I wouldn't say drawbacks. I just maybe don't think he can tap into it the way we think he can. Maybe there's something that's set up for him to be able to do it. Like we see with Boruto in part 1, like he struggles, but when he's next to Kawaki, like that thing works. Even in Two Blue Vortex, he's next to Kawaki, and we see his karma agitate. So like maybe it has to be something with that. I don't think he can just tap into it by himself. I
agree with what Boris said. I think for right now, he's kind of in the same situation Sarada was, where he needs an emotional catalyst. And even with Boruto, like he doesn't have that true essence control of karma that he showcased against Code. That was a fluke because of the pills. Right now, he's kind of debuffed to the lowest form of karma. So even Boruto's kind of standing at a even lower level than Kawaki, to where he's bottlenecked to whatever amount of power Momoshiki allows him to tap into. So I feel like it's gonna be an emotional catalyst, because we've been seeing this in Boruto, where you need an emotional catalyst to activate your true power. Sarada did it to reactivate her Sharingan.
It's so funny.
That's what mental lamps are.
Just,
mental lamps are like stated, at least in the Land of Waves arc. You're going to your max potential because you're protecting the people you care about. And I think that, it makes sense that, especially how they explain like the Mangekyo Sharingan usage from Sarada, that is the reason that these people are able to tap into their full power. And without Kawaki having that condition in place, which is like Naruto being in harm's way, it's like, yeah, maybe that's the reason we don't get to see this power. I think that's a pretty decent reason.
I think the only thing that I'm really curious about is the deal that he's made with Momoshiki. We know Momoshiki's been quiet for 3 years. I'm kind of curious what Boruto is going to do with that.
We already heard the deal.
He's gonna give him his body.
No, not like that. But Boruto finds a loophole for everything. So I'm not.
She can go commit suicide.
He'll really just do some shit.
We don't know the loophole, bro.
My theory is we're gonna find out at the beginning of next chapter. We're gonna start with the flashback, seeing what happened, and it's gonna be Momoshiki denying the deal, and we're gonna go from there.
He's gonna summon a giant Rasengan and run straight.
Really interesting.
So
he's gonna fight Momoshiki in the mind space, just like Boruto or not Boruto, but Naruto and Kurama did. And then he's gonna defeat Momoshiki and just control his power. It's gonna be like a Black Clover situation. Would y'all hate it if it's a Black Clover situation?
Oh my god!
I wouldn't hate it, especially because in my mind, I feel like indirectly because of the flash forward, Momoshiki's been kind of relegated as a non-threat, because we know that for some reason or somehow Boruto is standing here. He's able to tap into karma, and he sees whatever threat Momoshiki could hypothetically still pose in this flash forward as a moot point to where Kawaki's more of a threat. So it kind of makes me seem that Momoshiki's just a bum. He continues his homeless arc. He's just.
I disagree. If Momoshiki's no longer a threat, Kawaki doesn't have any reason to kill Boruto as of right now. So unless he's going to develop a new reason,
his delusion will give him a reason.
But the thing is, he's not trying to kill Boruto. He told Boruto, I'll send you where I sent the 7th Hokage. Boruto.
He was trying to do that in the prophecy arc too, though. And unless you think he means literally, he could just be meaning out of this world.
But then here's the thing.
Kawaki says in that chapter, it's useless to send Boruto to that dimension. Like, there's no point in him doing it because he's in the Otsutsuki.
Something has to happen within the story to change that perspective.
Yeah, and this is Kawaki having to fight Boruto, weaken Boruto enough to where he can seal him. And this is Boruto who seemingly wants to fight Kawaki, who seemingly isn't the Boruto who said that, yeah, if Momoshiki becomes a threat, I'll gladly let you kill me. This is Boruto who seems to believe, hang on, I can still survive this whether I need to or want to. Kawaki seems to be more of a threat than whatever threat a current hypothetical Momoshiki, if he's still around, poses. So I think
no. I mean, it could be Quad could be thinking the opposite. Quad could be thinking at that point Momoshiki is the biggest threat.
But the thing is, what did Kawaki do? What did Kawaki do leading up to this flash forward that Boruto seems to be so shocked to where he says, I can't believe you went this far, Kawaki. Like, oh, you didn't go this far when you tried to kill Sarada. You didn't go this far when you framed me. You didn't go this far when you gaslit the entire village.
It's got to be destroying the village, something or the other. I don't know.
The only way to draw Boruto out.
The thing is, Kawaki's clearly, based on this, willing to go farther. I don't think it's that Boruto wants to fight Kawaki. If Boruto says, I can't believe you went this far, and Kawaki says, you know what, Boruto? You're right. I'm going to stop right now. I don't think Boruto's going to keep fighting him. I think he's just going to stop right there. He's going to agree.
Yeah, it's Kawaki doing something to where Kawaki doesn't care anymore. He wants Boruto to square up. I'm gonna come at you. Like he said, that's right. Like once Boruto said, I guess this was the only possible outcome. Kawaki says, "That's right.
He
Let's
might
fight."
take someone's life that they both know.
I mean, Kawaki doesn't care because even when Kawaki talks to Boruto into Blue Vortex, he's like, "Yo, he's been quiet for 3 years. I don't know what he's doing. Like, he hasn't done anything. Like, even if he was to give Boruto like the benefit of the doubt and say, "Yo, he's working with Momoshiki. Momoshiki's not a bad person no more," Kawaki's still gonna try to kill him. Like, there's
just by being an Otsutsuki.
It's the same as because Boruto's reluctantly saying it by saying, "I guess this was the only outcome," and Kawaki's saying, "That's right," reinforcing the idea. It's the only possible outcome because Kawaki's making it the only possible outcome. There's other possible outcomes. Kawaki's just not going to allow them. It's the same as Madara versus Hashirama. Hashirama didn't want to have to kill Madara, but he felt like it was the only way because Madara was going to fight to the death.
But my question is, why would Kawaki destroy the village?
Good question.
Because he realized how much of a bum he's been, bro.
Why Kawaki would destroy the village would be something like he opposes the shinobi system. You can maybe apply it to someone like Sasuke, who Kawaki is written in the story to parallel it is, or not parallel, but I mean, to some extent, really, he's like Naruto. But I mean, you could say that he has some semblances of, Sasuke. But his similarity in this case with Sasuke would be that he opposes the shinobi system. He doesn't see it
100%.
as fit to attain the goal that he wants to attain. So, obviously protecting Naruto. Maybe he feels as if Naruto's life would be even in more danger if he was the leader of this shinobi system, which would put him in situations where he has to fight against people that clearly he's no match for. And because of that, that's what leads him to destroy the village.
I like
maybe
that
destroy
idea.
every other shinobi village.
Even if you grant him that, right? So unless omnipotence, like something happens and like everybody realizes, like everybody's already skeptical of everything. Sasuke was skeptical, like he was like, "I sense Momoshiki in you. I do all this." Shikamaru was already skeptical. Unless you could say everybody now realized Kawaki for who he is. He's the one that did this. That's the only real reason I give him for murking the village the way he did. Like that's the only part.
I think by the time they're fighting on the Hokage faces, omnipotence is reversed. Because at that point, he would have nothing to lose. What's the point of keeping up a facade? Right now, Kawaki's playing a role. He's trying to do what he can while still maintaining the facade that he's Naruto's.
I mean, where's everyone else?
But it's weird though. It's weird though because Kawaki says, "I'm going to send you where I sent the 7th," but it's like a dumb statement because he says there's no point in me sending you into that dimension.
I think that's let me not say the R word. I think that's a very dumb and idiotic statement too.
I mean, is it wrong to say it's retcon?
Unless Boruto...
that's the thing. It's either gonna be that or there's gonna be something that happens within the story because there's so much happened. Like even from prior to the introduction of a Shinju, like I remember when there was theories that it's possibly Boruto talking to Ishiki through Kawaki's body in that scene. Like we don't know. Like the more information we get about the story. Yeah, but the more information we get as the story goes on, the more we start to realize, like, oh, look at this scene differently, or look at this scene from this angle. So I think once we get some more information, we might see like whatever, because Kawaki is going to undergo another character shift pretty soon. So whatever drives that mindset for this next shift that he goes into might lead him into that decision.
So, Wavy, I have a question for you. So, do you think that the only logical explanation I'm sure that you're thinking of is that Kawaki is a good guy in this situation?
At this point in time when he fights Boruto?
Yeah, in the time skip, like when we see the flashback.
No.
Are you saying that he's not really the one that destroyed the village? He's trying to save.
He's saying what he's saying is stupid. What he's saying is stupid. Like to send him.
No, because he's saying that he says he's going to send him to where the 7th is. Right? We know where the 7th is based on the information currently. Mm-hmm. So he's not killing him. So the only explanation is that he's saving him.
Yeah, but he says it before that there's no purpose in him sending him to the dimension, that coaching dimension, because he's an Otsutsuki. There's no point in him doing it. It doesn't fix anything.
It basically becomes a situation to where killing Boruto in that situation was easier. Now he's switching and pivoting to where he doesn't want to kill Boruto. Sealing away Boruto takes more effort. But Boruto with the karma as an Otsutsuki, as long as he's on guard, he can dispel the portal before it takes effect. Yeah. So Kawaki has to pummel Boruto into damn near unconsciousness before he's even able to seal Boruto. So something within this character has to pivot to where, for some reason, he doesn't want to kill Boruto. Whether that means their beef is over and they just have idealistic beef, to where he's gonna seal Boruto away, take care of what needs to be done, and then unseal him, or he needs Boruto for something else, whether that's, you know, whatever he wants. He just wants to seal Boruto away. Crackpot theory. It's not gonna happen, but here's a crackpot theory.
I don't know. I give a headcanon theory saying, hey, what if this is a whole thing like that? That's a whole nother timeline that just doesn't happen. Like, what if something changes and this part really doesn't happen? Like,
see,
I think this is
the
one of
reason
those
why I'm against it is because we have this Boruto as the one who's narrating it. So for it to be another like time, because we know it's gonna change. We know the designs are gonna change. We know the sword's gonna be different. Ikemoto even said it that these were rushed designs. They're gonna be different in the manga. But for it to become a whole timeline where that doesn't happen, you kind of have to retroactively remove future Boruto as the one who's retelling the story, because we're technically still in a flashback. This is the present. We're just finding out what's leading up to this fight. That's why I think that it's gonna be. This is it. This is like Boruto Prime right here.
So Ryzen, you don't think it's retcon what Kawaki's saying to send him to where he sent the 7th, but still doubles back and says there's no point in him sending them there?
I feel like it just changes to where Kawaki doesn't want to kill Boruto anymore. He just wants him out of the picture for some reason. Whether that's altruistic, whether that's misguided, whether that's him wanting Boruto for something else. It just means for some shape or how or reason, he switches, he pivots. He does a 180. I don't want him dead anymore at this point in time. That's what I think.
I don't know. I think in this point in the series, Boruto and Momoshiki are like relative to like how Naruto is with Kurama. They're good friends and this and that, and Kawaki doesn't see the ideology.
I don't think that.
And he's like, I'm gonna send you to this. I'm gonna take you there.
Here's the problem.
They gonna be bumping fists and shit.
Here's the issue though. If we use Kawaki right now, right? If say for some like magic ninja Jesus reason, Momoshiki's soul gets extinguished from Boruto's body. If we use Kawaki as of right now, he still wants Boruto dead as of right now. This is not Kawaki from 3 years ago. This is Kawaki who's saying all Otsutsukis need to be dead. They're not allowed to exist. He even tells Boruto, Otsutsuki's like me and you, we shouldn't exist. Even if Aki becomes back a normal girl, but she has the body of an Otsutsuki, he's going to want to off her just by being an Otsutsuki.
And that's why he says, I'm going to use the power that he doesn't want and hates to be able to fight and take out all the Otsutskis.
Yes, then off himself.
Yeah, but like, it's still like it's still contradictory because like Kawaki's basically going to be the only, person left. He's going to off himself and then.
But that's what he said. That's what he told. That's
Yeah,
what
he dead ass said he was gonna kill himself.
Yeah, he said I'll gladly off myself, but
or
only
my bad.
after the job is
Eliminate
done.
himself.
Long for sure. I feel like it's a problem because it is a bad plan. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kawaki is not thinking things through, so we're gonna find a lot of holes in how he talks about it or just how he goes about things. Because overall, like his plan is terrible. So
why it's bad? You know why it's bad? This is what happens when you give trash characters the main role in the series. You're gonna give a character that didn't train for 3 years like that.
Yeah.
And all he gets to do is press the button and the code name, and that's how he gets power. Like this is what happens when you give a trash character the main role. Okay. Like I hate
honestly, Cole's plan is better because Kawaki's whole plan was, I got all this power now. I'm gonna kill all of these people. Okay, that's as far as
here's the thing though. Kawaki's plan was doomed from the start. The only reason why Kawaki is succeeding is from outside help.
It's because of omnipotence.
If we gave Kawaki everything he ever wanted on a silver platter, we know from Koji that you kill Boruto, but you get clapped by Code. So you didn't think about that. The world ended. Naruto and Hinata are stuck in a timeless dimension for infinity where they can't even die and go to the Pure Land to hang out with their family. So Kawaki's in the situation where he's just kind of. Actually, wait. I just thought the perfect reference. So we see how in part 1 Boruto was kind of more reactive than proactive, to where he was reacting to what Kawaki was doing.
Hold that thought. That's some noise.
Yeah, it's whoever's on the bottom left. I can't see the names, but
okay.
Of the screen.
Right now, Kawaki seems to be more reactive, to where he's reacting to what Boruto's doing, reacting to Boruto's plan, He's not being proactive right now. He's kind of just being led on, and it goes back to what Momoshiki said to Koda and Kawaki. Like, you guys are just being used. So right now, Kawaki's indirectly being played like a fiddle. So we need that pivot point to where Kawaki's starting to take control. To where what happens to Kawaki to where he becomes this Kawaki, who's seemingly making his own choices about the shinobi world, seemingly wants Boruto sealed away for some reason that we don't know yet.
I agree that there should be a big change with Kawaki's character, but I also think that Wavy does have a point by saying it's really weirdly inconsistent and a little bit wishy-washy for Kawaki to just flip back and forth on killing, but not killing, but killing Boruto like 72 different times. Just a little bit weird in that regard. So I definitely think they should keep it a little bit more straight in that regard. In fact, I did really like what Juju was saying about this being about the shinobi system. In fact, I think it could be really interesting. Naruto's the Hokage. The Hokage is a position to where every Hokage has known it's a position that's greater than themselves. They have that sacrificial mindset to where they put the village above their own life. As it doesn't matter. It's going to be like Kawaki in regards to his karma seal, realizing it's not the karma that was the problem, it's these damned Otsutsuki. It's going to be the same thing to where Kawaki's going to realize it's not the Otsutsuki that's the threat, it's the shinobi system. It doesn't matter what the threat is out there. As long as there's any threat at all, and he can't get rid of every threat possible, the shinobi system is the origin, it's the root, it's the real problem here. As long as that exists, as long as Naruto's Hokage, he has a village to be Hokage over, that shinobi system's still in place, he's going to have that sacrificial mindset to where he's going to throw away his life to protect everyone, regardless of what the threat is. He's going to want to get rid of that, especially if Kawaki's not going to be here afterwards to protect Naruto.
See, I feel like
he's already seen it happen before. He's literally seen Naruto put his life on the line multiple times against Delta.
Exactly.
They say that he put his life on the line, obviously against Ishiki, where when he goes into barrier mode, it implicitly is like, all right, he's going to die at the end of it. Obviously, it didn't end up that way, but the consistency there is like, yeah, being the Hokage is going to put you in situations that are going to be detrimental to your life. We see this with all the other Hokage, right? They were all in detrimental situations because they were protecting the village. That's just what comes with that shit. And Kawaki's looking at it like, damn, if this is true and Naruto's going to be in this situation, the only way for me logically to get him out of this situation is just destroying the thing that keeps continuously placing him in it. And that's literally what we see in the flashback. That makes a lot of sense.
I agree. I think that's the point that Kawaki is coming to, but I think his full character arc comes to when he realizes even that thought process is flawed, because say you do destroy the system, and I think like one of y'all just mentioned earlier is like threats aren't gonna go away.
Yeah,
like it's still gonna be present. It's still gonna be a thing where something is gonna need to be protected, and someone or something else is gonna have to be that protector. He's just on that mindset where he doesn't like the idea of his role model, his hero being in Naruto, is the one to throw his life on the line. It's kind of like with Boruto, like that parallel where Boruto grew up hating the Hokage because he sees from his point of view, the Hokage is always busy with everything else and everybody else. So why should I rock with him? And Kawaki's point of view, he's like, if the Hokage is always going to put his life on the line to protect this damn shinobi system, how about I destroy the system? But without the system, who's going to be there to be the ones to protect it?
I think
that like,
you could definitely argue that it's a little bit weird or maybe a little bit silly or inconsistent considering how strong Naruto is. But if he removes all Otsutsuki to where Naruto is the strongest, it can still be, considering Kawaki's mindset, to where the thing that Naruto wants to protect should be himself rather than the village. Naruto's going to throw his life away doing the Reaper Death Seal against Orochimaru's 12th invasion rather than protecting his own life, not for the village, but for himself. So if he can just remove the concept of Hokage, Naruto, you're no longer Hokage. You don't have to throw your life away, like we've seen it in plenty times in the Boruto era. In the Boruto movie, he's able to wipe away Momoshiki's blast easily, but he doesn't do it because he wants to protect the village. In Naruto Gaiden, he could take out Shin Uchiha in a blink of an eye, but he's protecting the children, so he gets harmed. Sakura gets sealed away. It's a situation like that keeps happening.
But that's the thing. You have to. We can't write Naruto out of character. We can't do that because Naruto himself is going to be stubborn. You can be like, all right, you can tell Naruto like, yo, take away the Hokage. Like, all right, I'm not Hokage, but shit, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight to protect people. It don't matter.
Yeah. No, that's where Kawaki's gonna realize he's wrong, but Kawaki isn't there yet. From Kawaki's perspective, the junkyard dog being backed into a corner, those are those who protect themselves. He has the part 1 Gaara ideology. He wants to protect his own existence. That's when you're strongest. He doesn't realize, oh, love makes you stronger. He's not there yet.
I feel like to an extent that just makes Kawaki narrow-minded, because he sees Boruto even being classed as a rogue ninja. Boruto is still willing to risk his life for the villagers, for himself, or even Kawaki. So I feel like
that's just it. He is
for him not to connect that with Naruto. For him, like if it was just as simple as, yeah, I'm gonna remove the Hokage position. I'm gonna remove all these like hierarchy aspects of a shinobi village. Logically, Kawaki should be able to come to the conclusion right now that, yeah, even if I remove this, as long as there's people in danger, Naruto's still gonna risk his life, even if he's not getting that paycheck, even if he's not being called the Hokage. He's still gonna put himself in danger.
But that's the beauty of it, of the emotional tragedy of it. Yeah, because he should be able to see it. The fact he doesn't is the point. That's the beautiful tragedy behind it. It's the same reason that Sasuke was blind. He closed his eyes to what Madara and Kaguya was doing, and he ironically fell to the same mistake that they did. That's why Sasuke lost in the end.
You know what's crazy though? Like Toby Rama says it and Kakashi says it as well. Like it's the next generation will always surpass the previous one. That's the purpose of the lore of Naruto. The previous generation will always fall short. Naruto will never be stronger. Like all this thing that the Kawaki has, his ideology of protecting the Hokage. The Hokage is supposed to be strong for the reason. The Hokage is supposed to protect the village, but the next generation will surpass the older one. And Kawaki doesn't really seem to notice that, because the only thing that he knows is he has no family aside from Naruto. So he wants to protect the one person that he loves. But he just needs to come to understand is, hey, the next generation will always surpass. Naruto will never be stronger than Boruto or these other people that's coming forward in the next generation. That's the point of Naruto.
The problem with Kawaki is, his problem is, out of all of the stuff he sat there and learned from Naruto, the only thing that stuck with him was Shadow Clone and Fireball. So all that talk no jutsu and chakra, his bonds and connections went in one ear and out the other. That's his problem.
Okay, see, crackpot theory. And is it so wrong for me to want to see Kawaki suffer?
I agree.
Now, I don't think this will happen, but it would really be interesting to see him double down and kind of become what he feared and become that Otsutsuki threat. Because if he wants to protect Naruto, what's the easiest way to do it? Becoming an omnipotent god. How would Kawaki do that? I mean, he wants to seal away an Otsutsuki. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. And I really don't want it to happen, but just kind of like how Sasuke went off the deep end at the end of Naruto a bit, we could get a situation where Kawaki big brains and thinks, if I feed Boruto to 10 tails and I eat that chakra food, that might be enough to make me an omnipotent god. If I can finesse omnipotence, I can create a perfect world to put Naruto in, where he'll never have to fight. Well, he'll never have to suffer, and he can just
be the next
safe
Madara
in that perfect world he makes.
Ryzen, do you understand how much hate he will get from Hinata?
I want that.
He already has a lot of hate from Hinata.
Listen, Hinata was like, you're like, she slapped the dog crap out of him. Like, listen, you're gonna kill my son. She immediately wrote him out the family. So can you imagine, like, let's just say crackpot theory, no crackpot theory, right? That Kawaki does bring them back. Kawaki's not going to get no love, maybe from Naruto. Kawaki's not going to get no mom, no love from Hinata. She didn't get a chance to see her kids grow up. She didn't get a chance to have that bonding.
Yeah, she's going to resent him.
She's going to hate Kawaki every day.
Wavy, crackpot theory. He becomes an omnipotent god. He'll give her a new son.
Oh my god.
He'll give her a new Himawari. There.
I ain't gonna lie. Nah, I'm gonna keep it a beat. Ironically enough, I think if Kawaki were to free everybody right now, the two people who would only not be mad at him would be Naruto and Hinata. everybody else would be free.
I have a question.
Naruto and Hinata would be. I think they
Oh,
would be conflicted, but because we think about it, Hinata, bro, like she's timid, she's shy, she love people, she loves Naruto. Like she ain't as outgoing as Naruto. Naruto would be more facial with it, like nah, I don't care what y'all say, Kabuki's still my son. Hinata would just be more reserved. She wouldn't be like,
did you not see the slap that she gave?
Exactly. Naruto didn't tell her to do that. She was doing that on her own.
Think about it. With that slap, that's the slap of a mother simply reflecting the love of her child.
She did that regardless of Naruto.
Nah, that was a child abuse slap, boy. That was crazy.
Nah, because that's instinct. That's all instinct. Because look, when she slapped him, it was right as soon as he said, "Bro, I regretted not killing," or whatever he said. Like the first thing he thought of when Boruto was alive. Yeah, like she walked across that counter and slapped the dog shit out of him.
Think about it though. If you power scale that slap though, that slap on base, base turn, no Byakugan. She slapped the ball out of him, man.
Hey, that was a mental lamp slap.
Hey, that's the upscale.
Look here, scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit.
The speed blitz.
When you see that Kawaki didn't even see that crap coming, can you imagine?
Why didn't he dodge, bro?
The 3 years, or I think there's another time.
Go down real quick. Go down to Hinata's dialogue. She's like, "You insane, young nigga."
Yeah, she don't fuck with Kawaki, bro.
Yeah, she off that, bro. I think it's only knowledge.
I have a question for you guys.
How old is Kawaki and Boruto in the first chapter?
In part 1,
Boruto's 12 and Kawaki's middle.
He's 14.
16 in the flash forward. 16.
The flash forward. So can you imagine the generational slap he will receive for knowing that she hasn't seen her kids in about
potentially
4 years.
4
years, 4 5 years. That slap.
She was like, "You're in." Hold on! Exclamation point! You're insane. That means look at the tears from her. Yeah,
and look, Naruto got his hand on her shoulder. He's holding her back. He's like, "Nah, calm down. You can't be doing that." She's doing it anyways.
It's the dialogue. Yeah,
Naruto's not stopping her.
Wait, I have a question for you. Yeah. Say we get like a decent ending where everyone lives, omnipotence is fixed, and they're freed. But everyone knows what Kawaki did. Do you think Naruto and Hinata are gonna do that? Family corruption. Because he's my son, I'm gonna pardon him. Or do you think they'll let Kawaki face justice?
You see, so
that nigga's gonna be in prison for a couple of months.
I think they're gonna give him the Sasuke treatment, and because think about it. I mean, it wasn't up to him. Well, in the story that Kawaki said, it was his omnipotence with Ada that caused this to happen. It wasn't just purely Ada. That was his way of what he wanted to know. He wanted this to happen. So if he comes clean and says it, he will go to jail, just like Sasuke. And I think he will end up going in a different light and a different path. But no, I don't think he'll go straight back.
Do you think Naruto and Hinata interfere with that? Like how Kakashi and Naruto kind of interfered with Sasuke? Or do you think that sets a bad example to where, as long as you're connected with Naruto, you'll be fine, and he'll use his.
You know what? It's not going to be Naruto. It's going to be Boruto because Naruto hasn't been here to see the past 5 years. Boruto has. He's going to be the one sticking up for Kawaki.
You're going to run into an issue though. The daimyo is still around, so you're going to have to face them as well. Like Naruto doesn't, like Shikamaru doesn't have enough power to do anything he wants because of the daimyo. So who's to say this won't happen with Naruto? The daimyo is going to be like.
That was the other thing I forgot to mention earlier. That makes it even worse because that little Charlie Kirk looking guy, bro. I'm telling you, he is standing on business. Like Naruto
that's the assistant
in the Hokage position.
But
he's not getting like they are forcing him to do his job correct.
The daimyo. What I think would play out is the daimyo is going to be like, listen. So we don't want him in the village. This is what happened, and he's gonna be like Boruto. They're both gonna be the supporting Shadow Hokage. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them become the supporting Shadow Hokage. I don't think that
Boruto and Kawaki.
Yeah, I don't think that Kawaki's just gonna be in the village. Boruto already let it be known that he wants to support Sarada and become the Shadow Hokage. That's already said and done. But can we get one like quote unquote Sasuke's, like two supporting Hokages because they're brothers? I'm
gonna say a hot take right now. Kawaki's ending arc, he's gonna die in Sumere's arm because it's gonna plot to his plot reveal. Kawaki and Sumere like each other. He's gonna die in Sumere's arms. Boruto's gonna pull up at the last minute, and then they're gonna have their last moves together.
Uchiha,
And
don't
that's
give me
how
false
the
hope.
story gonna end.
Don't give me false
That's
hope.
how it's gonna end.
I would be
Give me
so
false hope.
happy if Kawaki dies. But
Yeah,
I
would
think
be-
he's gonna
don't
die.
give me
I think
false
he's
hope.
gonna die.
I do have a question for you guys though. The flash forward, it's kind of two questions. The first one being, where is Kakashi? And the second question is, what happened to the other supporting characters like Shikamaru, Sarada, Sumire during the flash forward? What happened?
I'll say this for the Kakashi one first, because I'm the reason why I'm keeping hope on Kakashi returning, because in the same interview, I think back in like 2017, Ikimoto was like, "Yeah, Kakashi coming back." He did say in that same interview, like, "Yeah, I got big plans for Himawari," and we see the fruits being ripe right now with Himawari. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm counting my days, but I think Kakashi might come soon. It's gonna be very unexpected.
Where is Kakashi? Where is Kakashi?
I can
That
see
nigga
it.
has never been in the manga at
You
all.
already know where he at. He chilling in the shadows, reading his little magazines. You know what I'm saying?
I can
Just
see it
chilling.
because if we think about this, this might like ironically be Shikamaru's last arc to where he's Hokage, because he was kind of on the precipice beforehand, and he needed Koji's help to like stay in power.
Are you gonna
Now you have the divine trees.
He's gonna die.
No,
Yeah,
Uji and
I don't know.
Shikamaru
I know about
gonna
it
die
said that
this
earlier.
about
Everybody
dying.
said like,
I don't know about dying, but he could be removed from office, because think about it this way. Now you have the divine trees happening in here in the village. Now you have these shinobi helping Boruto. You have Mitsuki in the corner who might take the fall potentially. So I feel like the only possible person you could bring at that point is Kakashi.
But
Because
you know what's crazy though?
or Sakura.
The excusing like that's how Sasuke got pardoned, right? He got pardoned because of the help of the Kages, right? That's how he got not Kages, the Hokage pardoned. But he still
Kakashi and Naruto.
Yeah, he still faced the repercussion of it.
Yes.
He still had he even said, you know, a lot of people get this misconstrued. He wasn't banished from the village. He went as atonement. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kawaki sees the wrong in his ways and does the same thing and says, you know what, I'm gonna go on atonement for what I did, and Boruto will support the Hokage. But instead of leaving the village, Boruto will be in the village.
See, I feel like
Kawaki's
the problem
atonement's
becomes
death.
how much blood do the villagers want? Because they didn't like Sasuke, but a lot of what Sasuke
They gonna hate Kawaki.
a lot of what Sasuke did didn't directly affect them. It was more of an honor situation. With Kawaki, he's kind of messing up their day-to-day life in general, especially if he destroys the village. So even if the daimyo, because the daimyo messed with Naruto a lot, even if Naruto can swing the daimyo to pardon him, there's also the perception of the people. How do you placate the people going on a scenario where they know everything that happened? Not that they're in the dark. Like in a scenario where they know everything that happened from point A to point B.
Here's the thing.
How do you placate them?
Look what Hiruzen for like flashback. You remember what when I was talking to you about that Hiruzen topic? Like I didn't like Hiruzen at all. Like I hated Hiruzen, but Hiruzen got a lot of flack. But look at the pressure that Hiruzen was under. You know, he had he was dealing with the daimyo. He was dealing with X, Y, and Z, and he had Naruto that he had to keep under wraps. So I could see the same fallout that would happen for Kawaki. The daimyo can only say so much, but Naruto, as the person that saved the village, as the person that everybody's gonna know that that's his son. Boruto did protect the village against X, Y, and Z. Shikamaru witnessed this as well. So you have all of this support that it will change the narration of the story. So I don't believe that Kawaki. Yes, they're gonna want blood, but I think they're just gonna either banish Kawaki from the village and he's gonna seek atonement, or like that. I don't think he'll die. I don't think they're gonna want to kill him.
I see it, but just to meme it. If I'm Ninja NPC Crook #1, and I got 5 years in blood prison for like mugging someone, and I see Kawaki getting pardoned, and this is the second time in like 20 years that Naruto pardoned a mass criminal, I would be pissed.
Yeah, but it's Naruto. The world loves him.
But you know what sets the precedence though? Sasuke killed people. Like he was really like murking people in and out versus Kawaki. As far as I know, I don't even think Kawaki has a
Sasuke got limited bodies. He wasn't killing people.
Like Sasuke was it Sasuke put in the bingo book? If I'm not mistaken.
He wasn't killing. He wasn't killing people though. He wasn't out here like off the heads.
His main crime was just joining the Akatsuki. Yeah, he killed a couple samurai.
Look at Kawaki. Like Kawaki hasn't really got a body on his head. The only thing that you can say is,
I'm gonna
lied
be
to
honest.
everybody.
I'm gonna be honest with the hidden cloud stuff. I see that more as Sasuke dealing an honorable service against the cloud, because I think the cloud deserved that. To be honest,
I mean, that's hilarious. But I
think
will
his only
say,
crime was the Akatsuki and the samurai, because they did kidnap Kushina and they did try to kidnap Hinata. So I think that's what they deserve.
they make it clear that being an Akatsuki member in general, just aligning yourself with the Akatsuki is in and itself a crime. In part one, you don't actually have to do anything because of what the
And you're trying to
Akatsuki
kidnap
as an
Hinata?
organization
That's
has done.
That's joint. They were labeled as a rogue ninjas that sit there and terrorize other.
And just even leaving the village without permission as a ninja is a crime. And then he went with the guy
Yeah.
who killed the Hokage. And the only reason why he wasn't labeled as a criminal was because Tsunade was on Team Naruto, where she said, "Yeah, I'll let you guys deal with this privately." But it kind of spiraled once Sasuke did something internationally. Once he caused an international incident with the Cloud, Tsunade's hands were tied. That's it. All his crimes were in order at that point.
He pulled up on all 5 Kage and said, "Yo, what's good?" Like, he let them know, "Yo, y'all want that smoke? I'm here." And he sat there and threw the ones with another Kage at that. So yes, he had every right to be banished and to be put
in that circumstance with the Raikage. I think that was a community service for the Leaf. I don't see that as a crime, me personally. Everything else can be a crime, but I was anti-Cloud at that point, so
It's with the Akatsuki, they are actually just seen as an organization, not the individual member. So anything an individual member does is applied to the organization. It's applied to every member itself. We hear this in part 1 because the Akatsuki is known for killing a feudal lord, which is something specifically only Kisame did. It's known for bomb terrorism, which is obviously something only Deidara did. It's known for a third thing. I forget what it is. It might be going after the tailed beast, but I think it was something else. But again, it's like the entire organization is held responsible for that, not just the individual members.
And then they were even being hired by shinobi villages because of how cheap they were. They were basically kind of like a illegal mercenary group of criminals. So like even Onokis alluded to have hired the Akatsuki once or twice.
But you know what's crazy though? Yeah, I know the time frames are different, but Hashirama himself, like I give people
slave owner Hashirama,
but like Hashirama was out there collecting the chakra beast,
slave owner Hashirama.
He was selling them off. Okay, so like he was selling them off. So don't give too much flack to the Akatsuki. Okay, like Hashirama's the main guy that set this precedence for doing it.
Yeah, dude was a slave owner. Like it or not, dude was enslaving sentient beings and saying, "Yeah, you're too strong. I fear you. I'm gonna sell you off."
I don't know. I hate Kawhi. I hope he dies. I'll throw a freaking party when he dies.
Wavy, don't give me false hope. I'll be the first one to invite everyone to a party.
Bro, listen. I'm telling you guys right now, bottles on me the day Kawaki dies, bro. Bottles.
I'll co-sponsor that.
Bro, he's just a terrible character, bro. He doesn't think
he's not a terrible character. The problem is he's a good character. It's bogged down by terrible writing. He's a good character, but he's made a nothing character because of the writing.
Nah, he's bogged down by the generational curse of being an orphan, because it seems like most of the people who are causing problems in Naruto are orphans. Obito, Orochimaru, Kawaki.
What about Naruto?
Madara was
Naruto was that one of few exceptions, but I can list a lot of orphans that have been causing problems. Yahiko, not Yahiko. Nagato.
I mean, Kakashi was a pretty good orphan.
I have a funny one. Hagoromo.
Sasuke.
Okay, but he was disowned. Can we argue that he was disowned, or did Kaguya still mess with him though?
Hiruzen definitely let a lot of orphans down. I would say that. I don't give him a pass to his Hokage run because there's a lot of bullshit that he let slide that he has no excuse for.
Aruka as well.
So who took care of Sasuke in part 1? Like, I don't know.
Nobody.
You're telling me at that age that my man's had a whole apartment to himself? Like,
you gotta remember,
the nigga was still living in the Uchiha place. He was the only one living in that town.
He's probably rich, bro.
Yeah,
he's probably rich.
You also gotta remember, this is written by a Japanese dude, and in Japanese culture, kids are like taught to be self-sufficient at a young age, especially because they can like go to school in like a whole different area and they have to live by themselves. Especially Sasuke, someone who was like in a prestigious clan. he would have been taught as a kid to be self-sufficient. Unlike
So
Naruto,
how
was
much
a bumbling idiot.
how much do you think the Hokages get paid every year? What's their salary looking like to be able to put up with this bullshit?
Oh, they get like millions, bro.
Nah, bro. I ain't cutting them no slack because Sasuke's living conditions. Granted, you can be a messy person and be like Sasuke still had shit in that house. Naruto had a cupboard full of expired ramen cup noodles. You telling me the third
That's
Hokage couldn't do nothing
Naruto's
about that?
fault. That's his own
That is
fault.
not.
Naruto had a
Wow.
huge
I
freaking
ain't trying to
apartment,
hear
bro.
that.
A
Dude was given
huge
an
house.
apartment,
Crazy.
and dude was saying, "Deal with
Crazy.
it." Like that's.
And it makes it no better. And it makes it no better that the ninja were underpaid. Like Naruto, every time he got a bag, he either Jiraiya stole the money or did something with it. Like these ninjas
Nah,
are
that's crazy.
underpaid.
By the time,
Bro,
nah,
we
even by the
see
time he was a
Naruto's
guinea,
wallet is
by the time he was
loaded.
a guinea, that's cool. I'm talking about even pre-Ninja Academy days, bro. This dude was literally eating dinner by
Okay,
himself on a
here's
nightly
the thing,
basis.
though.
I mean,
But
he
yeah,
had
here's the
Like
thing.
4 cups of noodles in his cupboard.
He had shadow clones to help.
But here's the thing: I'm the first person to hate on
Bro.
Hiruzen, okay? For all the memes, but if we objectively look at it, this is a
Nah, bro.
ninja world where they enlist child soldiers.
Nah, bro. Because if
This,
you just look at it objectively, right? Prior to getting that headband, that means Naruto is not on salary. Sasuke is not on salary. How the fuck Sasuke got a full fridge and Naruto don't? That's the Hokage's fault.
Bro, you're
That's the
proving the
Hokage's
point that
problem.
Naruto wasn't poor. If he was hungry, why would he let his food expire? He had enough food in his fridge that it could go bad.
It's
It
the
was in
thing,
there
bro.
that
He only
I don't even
got
think
long.
it was
4 of them
hungry.
in the
Like I'm pretty
cupboard. It's
sure
the
at the
thing,
like
though.
if
Naruto was
I
barely
think if
home.
he's at the academy, they should be feeding him, like
No,
giving him lunch and shit.
Naruto was barely
Just
home.
like if you go to school.
Let's
So
also
all
just
the
ignore
reason-
that orphan kids in Naruto, like Kakashi and Naruto, we see both of them fishing. They just get fresh fish
That's
from like
not
the
even
river.
the main gripe with the third Hokage.
Hiruzen
The
was eating
Naruto
fish
thing
with
is
him one time too,
Yeah.
bro.
the Naruto thing is bad. The real reason is bad is because he looked Minato in his eyes and said, "Don't worry about that boy. I'm gonna take care of him." He
okay, but
looked
here's
him
the
in his
thing,
eyes and
though.
said that.
If we
That's
look at
messed
it
up.
objectively, Naruto was treated better than most Jinchuriki. We got to remember, this is still
Yeah.
a world that's in a Cold War with child soldiers, with assets. It's Minato's own fault. He knows it for making his son a Jinchuriki. Even
B
Kushina called him out on it.
Bro, B got better treatment than that.
No,
Bro,
B got
bro.
him
Everybody
completely
knew
Nah, B
Killer
was
B.
treated like dog shit.
Way
Oh,
B
better.
was treated
no.
like dog shit, but at least I kept B like at the whenever B wasn't out rapping or scrolling through the town, he was at I's hip. Like this, the third. When are they ever together?
No,
Like you
maybe
don't
the
even check on the
first.
nigga. Like
We don't know exactly when it happened, unless I'm forgetting. We know A and B were close at first, and then at some point after becoming the Jinchuriki, A didn't really like B as much anymore.
I think it was when his dad died, and then he confined B to
I
the
think
village
so.
to
I think so, yeah.
become the
only
protector.
time- the only
it
time
was that,
he
and then when they performed that perfect lariat, I don't know if that was in the manga because I seen the anime, but when they performed that perfect lariat together in training, that's when A started to lift off of that notion.
But you also
It
got to
wasn't-
remember,
it wasn't-
initially people hated B, and like his
Yeah,
friend
they
wanted to
used to.
off him.
Yeah, they
So
treated
Yeah,
him like shit.
yeah.
You
Naruto-
can't stop people from hating you. But
It's
it's
when-
the fact
it's
that
whenever
you every day
A.
like his most strongest memory, Naruto's like most vivid memory as a child, bro, is gonna be that damn swing. And if you'd have asked Naruto himself before even getting the ninja headband, like who's your top dog? Who's the nigga you look up to? And he's not gonna name the person who his dying father left him in charge of. He's not gonna say who rules in the third. No, he's gonna be like Aruka. That's my dog. That's my. He asked that nigga to be his father's step in. As like if Hiruzen was alive, I don't even know if he would have got a formal invitation to the wedding.
You know
I'm
what's
being
But
sad?
here's the thing, though.
Listen,
We
listen,
have to
listen,
understand that
listen, you know what's
Naruto as an
sad?
adult. Oh wait, no, continue.
You know what I'm saying? You know what's sad is the fact that, listen, so Jiraiya tells Naruto, right? Like, yo, you have this beast in you, right? Like, yo, you have this chakra, you got to control. So you're telling me the only times that Kakashi and Hiruzen pop up is not into Naruto's crib is when he's not around and you don't help him out. It took Asani doing whatever the hell he was doing while he was off looking for Orochimaru and doing his
Literally, bro.
like you're telling me you couldn't, as Hokage, you couldn't go visit every night to go visit, make sure Naruto, at least tell him why people don't fuck with him. You're not doing none of that. You're not doing nothing. But it takes Jiraiya, which is many chapters later, to tell him what's going on with him. Tell him this is why people, like, in a sense, this is what you got inside you. And then Hiruzen gets capped later on and using the
And then on top of that, I would let all of that, even with the promise to Minato, so I let all of that slide if he was out here doing his due diligence as Hokage. Instead, nah, he letting Danzo and these two bum ass elders running around circles around him doing fuck shit, knowing that they made a hit on his life, and he still let them operate in the village, bro. He's a bum.
You're forgetting. Remember, me and Ryzen had this conversation. I don't remember Ryzen. We pointed out that Hiruzen was getting like attacked on all sides while maintaining a village. Like he knew that he had to take care of Orochimaru, but he was getting pressed, and people working to get him, which was Danzo. So like Hiruzen was kind of pinned in the corner.
Hiruzen was protecting Naruto. Danzo's the only reason people knew in the first place, and then Hiruzen made it taboo to talk about him, or like out loud talking about it anyways. Like, it's the same reason that he's called Uzumaki instead of Namikaze. It was to protect him from everyone.
Yeah, but you're telling me if everybody knows everything about me and I don't even know, the only thing that you're gatekeeping is the fact my dad was the fourth Hokage who got clipped. You couldn't tell me that you could have taken me under your wing. Had Hiruzen did that, the version of Naruto that we know today would probably be exponentially stronger.
I disagree. I think the pain's what made him stronger.
He still also has capable Jonin. I ain't gonna cap. Right now, if you were to take Hiruzen's era, Jonin versus the Anbu, let's even just say the Danzo's root Anbu, like if that was a civil war to break out, like they're getting smoked. So I don't know why Hiruzen did not act. First of all, fire Danzo, get them niggas put, get them niggas executed. Like what's stopping them?
But you gotta remember, even when Danzo died, you were still dealing with root remnants up until Boruto's era. So it's not a situation where you're just gonna have a civil war. Plus, we gotta remember the village at that point was even weaker. You have all these other.
He dealt with all three wars.
Ryzen, I had this conversation with you. I said, had Hiruzen died in the place of Minato, Minato would have handled everything.
100%.
Minato would have dogged
easy, bro.
Yeah, because Minato had more clout. He was younger. He had a lot of things going for him. And Minato,
you would have gave Danzo a Game of Thrones style execution, bro. Right in front of
you can't kill Danzo though.
He might have been able to prevent the Uchiha massacre.
The Hokage's not at the top though. If he kills Danzo, then he's not going to be Hokage anymore. The Daimon is going to get rid of him. The elders are going to get rid of him. He doesn't have absolute political power.
But you're missing the point, though. Minato had good influence on the village. So
when Danzo got caught, no, go ahead. My fault. I was going to rebuttal that. I was going to say, because when Danzo got caught, now granted, I'm going by Naruto Shippuden anime. I don't know if this was in the manga, but this is canon because it's related to the story. When Danzo got caught red-handed by Hiruzen in the midst of revealing the truth of Naruto being, Minato's son, and having all of these plots, and he attempted to kill him, Danzo looked Hiruzen in the eye, and he was surprised the fact that Hiruzen was not going to either fire or kill him. So he had that authority at the time. And Hiruzen chose actively to keep Danzo in power because he felt that type of, like, gray area tenacity was needed, for the village, which is right. Granted, it's right, but at the same time, as a leader, you tried to backdoor and snake me. You're done, bro. You're done.
Danzo did have influence with the daimyo. Danzo was very, very well connected with the daimyo, so it didn't even matter what Hiruzen. If Hiruzen did that, the daimyo would have been like, "All right, you're done."
And we saw what happened with Orochimaru. If you just let Danzo go, you fire him, but you don't kill him, he's a threat to the village. It's going to be a bigger problem down the line.
Make him a threat to the village rather than it's because of Danzo's actions, right? Not only is Naruto the known target of all the hatred within the village, right, and then eventually spreading worldwide, but then also the fighters that united in the Uchiha massacre, that war could have been prevented simply by removing Danzo's influence out the picture.
That's with hindsight, though. Hiruzen obviously doesn't know that at the time, and also it's a thing of keep your friends closer, or keep your friends close and your enemies closer. The thing is with Danzo, he is a threat if you push him back into a corner. He's not going to act if you keep him in check, you keep him in line. If you start pressuring him, he's going to act. That's when he's a real threat.
But Danzo had the influence. Well, Danzo had control over the Black.
But we also know
Danzo
that
had a lot of control during that time. So fucking with Danzo was literally like,
also, Danzo was protecting the village.
Nicknamed God of Shinobi. He has a whole lot of restraints and boundaries to tiptoe around. For somebody who's feared as
We also know that Hiruzen was able to successfully, to an extent, keep the bureaucrats in check to a point where he could, like, keep Naruto out there to where Naruto doesn't get put in prison. And we even have the Boruto data file talk about how, yeah, the third Hokage was able to, like, keep the bureaucrats in check, and that's part of the reason why he was able to like thwart these, like, splinter cells of the village. Like, I can.
You know what? This conversation has led me to believe right now. I'm gonna declare right now. I think in the Naruto series and Boruto series, the biggest fraud. This including people like Code and Kawaki. The biggest fraud is Hiruzen. He's the biggest fraud in this fucking story, bro.
Wow.
He's
No,
a fraud, bro.
I think the biggest
He's a
fraud is the
fraud.
daimyo. I think the biggest frauds are the daimyo. I really think they're the biggest frauds.
I think y'all underestimate how much political power Hiruzen actually has.
Yeah, I have it right here. I think my screen disappeared.
Under or over.
It did, yeah.
But
I think y'all underestimate the amount of political power Hiruzen has.
Oh, underestimate? Nah.
Or I'm sorry. I think y'all. I'm sorry. Other way around. Y'all overestimate the amount of political power that Hiruzen has, and then y'all underestimate the amount of political power that Danzo has.
Yeah.
At the very,
I agree.
I see why you would say that, but their interactions throughout the story tells me that Danzo was scared of Hiruzen for a reason, and Hiruzen had the power to make certain decisions that could have gone a better way.
But
like,
maybe it's not just because they're friends. Maybe Hiruzen was forgiving Danzo because of his power.
With confidence.
Yeah, I think it's literally just because of how strong Hiruzen was, and because Hiruzen is so much stronger than Danzo, he can leverage himself into positions that Danzo just can't, and he's jealous of Hiruzen because of that reason. So he has to do very like sneaky and grimy types of things to like overcome Hiruzen's power.
And like we said, Danzo has control of the entire route Anbu. As far as we know, if he pushes Danzo, maybe Danzo could level the village with the Anbu. He'll pull his own coup.
If Minato was alive, Minato would have taken care of a lot of the stuff that Hiruzen.
He would have killed Obito.
Well, he wouldn't have been the Hokage. They would have taken him out of that position and found a replacement.
I don't truly believe. I think the power that Minato had, aside from strength, I think he did have good favor with the village to say, yo, I had to clip this dude, and it's I think the daimyo would have.
Minato was like that nigga. He was the up and coming.
You don't think they would have removed him if he did something that would have?
They would have removed him. I agree. They would look at him as young and immature, and Danzo especially would leverage that.
They would have gave that to Minato. I can't even say times 10 because they blazed Naruto, but like that's like the same amount of love.
They gave Minato a lot of respect. Yes, he would have gotten flack for it, but Minato would have had a lot of evidence, a lot of supporting evidence to show, hey, that this is what Danzo was doing. This is how he was playing the game. Hiruzen couldn't do it. Hiruzen really couldn't do it.
But also think about it this way: if Minato lives,
man, I ain't gonna give him. I ain't gonna lie. I can't give him that benefit because I think he had so many cards at his hand to where the options were there. They were there.
Nah, bro, the daimyo are fickle. They'll listen to anything.
Hokage. What was the whole point of that term?
It's basically whoever speaks first.
Successor.
Bro, the elders are slithery snakes. If they're against someone, the daimyos are just gonna listen to them because they're so good at manipulating the daimyo. They have them under their thumb. It's so easy.
Look how Hiruzen.
Yeah, that's the thing.
He saw Orochimaru experimenting on genin. He saw Orochimaru experimenting on kids. But as soon as Minato comes to the battlefield in the war arc and sees Obito, it's on sight. He slashes at Obito. Hiruzen couldn't do that. So you're telling me Hiruzen that Minato wouldn't handle that shit as the fourth Hokage? Yes, he would.
Yeah. Plus, think about it this way: if Minato lives, Danzo's whole plan collapses because now he can't frame the Uchiha. Now he can't make rumors for the Uchiha. We know that it was a rogue Uchiha that was fighting Minato, not the Uchiha clan. We also have Obito still being marked by Minato's flying Raijin. So literally, Obito doesn't know that fact. We gotta remember, he doesn't know that the flying Raijin mark never disappears. So at any point in time, once Minato's back up to strength, he can go slit Obito's throat when he's asleep.
Yeah, it's also not fair to say that for Minato it was on site. He didn't realize that it was Obito at first, and once he realized, after he'd already slashed him, he was then in a daze that he couldn't break out on his own. He needed Naruto to break him out.
I just feel like people underestimate Minato in a political sense because Minato did have a lot of influence on the village. Like I do genuinely believe Danzo would have gotten killed by Minato. Minato would have still been held Hokage, and everything really would have went differently.
We don't even know
Orochimaru,
if Minato would have been able to catch Danzo.
how not?
I mean, Danzo is just, we don't know if he's just. Danzo is kind of like 3 steps ahead, man. He's a master
Nah, man,
manipulator.
I can't give him that because
He's very strong within the political game. Again, he's basically the king of the underground, right?
As far as we know, Minato could have been easily manipulated by Danzo as well.
Got his one up on Shishu.
What if Minato thought Danzo was a good guy? What if he was best friends with Danzo?
He's just gonna listen to what
that's
he says.
Just a bad
check into
character
it.
on Minato's side.
Yeah,
No, but Danzo's he's just slimy like that. It's just how people are.
And
like,
I don't think Danzo would be trying to kill Minato, so that's
Even
also off the
Hiruzen,
table.
bro.
Yeah, nah, he's not.
The reason I can't,
if it's Hiruzen, yeah, but Minato's
I
way
can't give him.
stronger than Hiruzen. He's not gonna try.
But I can't give Hiruzen that slack because if we're just talking strictly like power wise, yes, Minato is stronger than Hiruzen, but strictly power wise in this era, they gave this nigga the nickname God of Shinobi. Anybody else who's in this occupation, we look at this nigga as a god. You telling me you can't do anything to make shit shake in your favor at least a little bit? That's why he's a fraud, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if Minato survived and Hiruzen was still around. You don't think Hiruzen would have told Minato everything and be like, "Yo, you're acting Hokage now. This is what needs to happen. This is what I can't do." And Hiruzen would have him and Minato would have been able to handle everything. That's just like saying that Kakashi was alive, Naruto became Hokage, and obviously down. Like Kakashi would have relayed all the information to Naruto. Naruto would have handled everything. That's the same thing that would have happened with Minato had Minato survived.
I'll also
it's crazy. I know because Hiruzen noticed too. Because when everybody was playing the blame game in the 4th grade Ninja War, Minato was like, "Oh, he found out. Oh, Obito's the one who's been behind all this." Minato was like, "Nah, this all my fault." Hashirama butts in like, "Nah, I should have ended this originally with Madara." Then Hiruzen butts in, "Nah, I could have stopped this with the Uchiha." Damn right, it's your fault, Hiruzen. You could have stopped this shit.
No. Well, I'll add thematically. I do think narratively, I think narratively you are wrong. We see Hashirama had the wrong answer trying to take out Madara. We see that through Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto forgave Sasuke. That's the correct answer. Just like Hiruzen forgiving Danzo. That was the correct answer. The problem is, what Hiruzen didn't do, why he narratively, thematically failed, he didn't go far enough. You can't just forgive them because he didn't change Danzo, unlike Naruto changed Sasuke. Because Naruto forgave Sasuke at the end of the 5 Kage Summit, but obviously everyone already knows Sasuke's still evil. If he just did that, Sasuke's just going to keep going on with his revolution plan. You have to go on, you have to change them. That's what Hiruzen didn't do. That's why he lost.
But you could say the same thing that Hiruzen didn't stop Orochimaru either. Hiruzen sat there.
Orochimaru went evil because of Hiruzen, in my opinion.
Yes, but regardless of the fact, Hiruzen found where he was, saw him doing what he was doing, and he still let him go. Granted, I understand that he looked at Orochimaru as one of his own, but as Hokage, you have a duty to fulfill.
No, I agree. And that gets back to this is a very long conversation that we're not going to get into right now, but this gets back to the Hashirama vilify or brainwashing ideology of the shinobi system, shinobi are tools versus humans thing, that Hiruzen was taught from a young age. He didn't really have the chance to learn on his own. So we had that instilled into him. So he didn't understand why that didn't work, why that failed, when even at the very end, even when he, in Konoha Crush, when he sacrificed his own life, he still sees Kid Orochimaru at the end. The brainwashing's that deep. He doesn't realize the difference between a tool and a human. That's why Orochimaru, that's why it got so far and went so bad as it is. That's the only reason he had to give his own life.
And that's why he's trash.
That's not his fault though. That's Hashirama's fault.
I think you underestimate the situation that Hiruzen was put in. I mean, it's a very relatable situation where you have to choose between killing somebody that you deeply care about for a bigger cause or a bigger and greater outcome. And I think Hiruzen was placed in a situation where we have to specifically look at the human elements of Hiruzen, right? Like killing a person that he loves, killing a person that he cares about is a very tough situation. It's something that obviously was a mistake, but eventually, later on we see that he reconciles that. So it's all a learning process. Like Hiruzen,
I don't give him any slack.
I wouldn't say that's a weakness, right?
Bro. You got to keep in mind everything Hiruzen went through as well. He went through a ton of stuff, not only as a human, but as a Hokage. His son hated him because of the Hokage position that he didn't have time. He wanted, just like Naruto, he viewed the whole family as his village, or the village's family. He lost his teachers in both Hashirama and Tobirama. He lost his wife in Biwako and Minato in the same night. The Nine Tails invasion with Obito, he had to deal with that. He had to deal with the Uchiha. He had to deal with all three of the Great Shinobi Wars, by the way. All three of them, which included
Lost
the whole,
Sensei Tobirama and Hashirama.
And you know what?
Didn't he start one of those wars? Correct me if I'm wrong.
What?
No,
I wouldn't go as far as say he started. You can say he's responsible for one of them.
We gotta look at all of the instigations for each of these wars, because I'm pretty sure. When did he become Hokage? In the Second Great Ninja War, right?
Yeah, he gave when Tobirama gave him the title of.
So yeah, I think he started the Third Great Ninja War. I think that's accurately correct.
But you know, it's all up to the position you signed up for. You are now Hokage, so you now have to do what you are.
Bro, he had to deal with like 10 different things at the same time, with the Uchiha, the Danzo situation, the Elders, the Obito situation, the Nine Tails, with Naruto. There's so much he had to deal with. It's insane. There's just too much.
He had to deal with a lot, but I still think his choices, like the Uchiha situation, he's not getting no slack or sympathy from me on that end, because like that bad judgment, bad calls.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
Debatable. Yeah, I guess there's a whole lot of orphans at that point. But you promised the dude's dead father that you was gonna do something and you didn't do it. So I don't know. With
but do you blame?
That's understandable.
I mean,
you think that
Naruto was alive and shit.
Yeah, it's the same thing that Naruto did at the beginning of Boruto. He views the whole village as family. It's the same thing with Hiruzen and Asuma. Remember, Asuma, his child, Asuma didn't like his dad because he viewed the whole village as family.
Said, all right, Kabuki could come live with us. I'm gonna rent him out of an apartment down the street and never visited that nigga a day again. What if he did that?
No, because it's the same reason.
I wish somebody would give me an apartment.
But you know,
I give
Minato flack as well, because he didn't have to die. He protected Kushina, but he did not have to. It was either him or the mom to survive.
He had to die. He was too strong, bro.
No. The plot killed him. Bro. He didn't have to die. Even Kushina's like, bro, take care of our son, this and that. And then Minato's like, no, you take care of my son. It's like, y'all.
The one guy, I give him that, because he was too scared to raise Naruto by himself.
But you know what's crazy? You know what solidifies it? He's just like his sensei. Jiraiya didn't have to die either. After he dove for intelligence, he could have ran away and just used what he had, but he still decided to go die. So like, literally, the whole series is kind of fucked at this point.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Because people be like, oh, y'all forget the message on the front. I'm like, y'all acting like Jiraiya wouldn't have went back, contemplated, and came to that conclusion as he sat there and had time to think, as opposed to him coming to the conclusion in the heat of battle, dying, by the way, falling through the middle of the ocean with holes in his body. Like, he was like, oh shit, it's 6 of these niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? After a quick little scuffle, he could have been like, I ain't gonna lie, he might be controlling a couple of, he probably wouldn't have got the number. He would have been like, yeah, he's controlling some bodies.
It's funny you say that. I did a video on that and I got flack for it. People were like, Jiraiya, he was getting jumped. Listen, Jiraiya could have made a pocket dimension while he was sitting there trying to figure things out and slid and came back. Like, Jiraiya didn't have to die.
Yeah,
he did not have to die.
That was his own fault. Nah, but it's crazy.
Maybe Koji can break that DNA curse. I don't think so, but maybe.
No, but I don't think that. First of all, I think that Naruto made the right call by having Kawaki live with him rather than down the street. Not only as a person, but as a Hokage. And we know that Naruto views the Hokage position more importantly, or at least it's that his priority. It's his like first reaction above his human take. We see that, for example, in the Chunin exams, when he hears about Boruto's victory over Shikadai or whatever, he approaches that situation from a Hokage first, and then after Shikamaru walks away, he's like, yes, yeah, he's excited, like as his father. So he's taken the Hokage position more importantly than the father. And I think the same applies for the Kawaki situation. He did Hokage first, and then Naruto second. Yeah, he was excited and giddy and really, really happy that he could help Kawaki, this kid or whatever. But that's after taking care of his duty, is his responsibility to be Hokage. He made that decision first before the Kawaki.
Naruto knew damn well that Boruto shouldn't have won that fight against Shikadai. He went down there and he was like, you got a nigga too, don't you? That's why he won that fight. He didn't go down there to go congratulate him. He made him out to go see what was going on with Boruto for him to win that fight.
No, I mean in the anime, not the movie, because he wasn't found out until Shinki in the anime. With Shikadai, it's just none the wiser at that point.
Oh yeah, the anime tried to change it where like it was like, oh, good job.
But still, Naruto came down there with the intention of not as a father, but as Hokage. Like, yo, you shouldn't have.
Like, yeah, this
exactly. Yeah.
But then even in the anime, when Boruto said, "I awakened the Byakugan," Naruto says, "No, you didn't. You haven't trained hard enough to do that."
Yeah.
And I would know. He said, yeah. He said.
But the thing is, I never watched the anime for Boruto. I've only read the manga because I heard there's a lot of loopholes and it's a lot of fillers. So I don't really watch the Boruto.
No, but I think the cheating example is a really great example of Naruto putting Hokage first. He's disciplining Boruto not as his own son, but as a ninja, Hokage to ninja. He's disbanding him as a ninja. He's saying, Boruto, we're going to talk about this later when we're home. Right now, I'm doing this as Hokage. I'm not going to give you the father-son talk right now.
He later doubles back on it, and when they spar in the manga, he uses a ninja tool, but Naruto says it's how you use it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're supposed to be a ninja. It's how you use these tools, but he still uses it. And it's kind of contradictory, even though it's funny. That's how he labels it. But still,
I don't think it's contradictory. No, I don't think he's doubling back on anything.
No, because he says to use these tools, it's how you use them and stuff like that. Like, which I understand because Boruto used it to cheat his way to win. Yes, I understand that. But it's a little contradictory because he still uses those tools.
It's basically because that was a test. It's like I can use a calculator at my job, but in an exam, I wouldn't necessarily get that calculator.
Yeah.
So in a real life situation, you're going to use any tool you can get to survive. But that was strictly a test of how you yourself can fight, what skills you can put to the table in a safe position. Because unlike the old shooting exams, there's no fear of loss of death. You're sparring against friendly allies. So that was him using a tool that was banned for that specific test. That was a spar where you can just use whatever you have.
But at the end of the day, you can still say like that still can be debated because yes, I know tests and rules and cheating are wrong. I understand that, but they can still use these tools when they're fighting for their lives. Boruto still uses in the manga the tools that Katsuki made to nullify the same exact tool so he can use it for Rasengan. It's how you use them.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. See, it's the difference between using it as a crutch, a supplement, rather than a complement. Because, like you're saying, it's practically indistinguishable if they use it or not in that regard. It's not about physically actually using it. It's about the choice to use it and rely on it in the first place. Because it's not about the physical power. It's about the mindset. Because they want the next generation to have innovation, to come up with stuff on their own. Because if they rely on their ninja tools, they're not going to do anything in the future when they're the adults. They're just going to keep relying on the same thing, and then they're going to stagnate. They're not going to continue to progress the technology or develop their society. They're just going to go with what they already have and be satisfied with that. Naruto's trying to instill the ideology to not do that and to build your own power, to continue growing, to progress as not only as a ninja, but as a human.
And that's exactly why we have piece of shit like Kawaki running around. He's the prime example of a ninja tool that can just, with just words, he can power up. And that's why I hate him as a character.
I mean, at some point, Kawaki will get his last high, is what I'm going to say. He's going to finally overdose on one of Amado's, like, quick fix, like Amado said, and it's going to be funny.
Bro, he should be there right now. This most recent one that he got was already risky. It could have already failed. I don't think he can do it again.
Wait, yo, do you think that's how Ada gets clapped? This newest upgrade of Kawaki has like some type of side effect where he overheats, and then she sends Daemon to help him, and that's how she gets blindsided. That would be hilarious.
That'd be crazy. I mean, that narratively, that's low key kind of good with like the consequence of Kawaki doing this. But the problem is he's not going to care because he's not going to care. So he's not going to realize anything. He's not going to do anything differently because of this.
I mean, I think that would be funny because then that leads us to a conflict with Daemon and Kawaki. Because Daemon would blame Ada's getting devoured on Kawaki. That could potentially lead us to a Kawaki versus
He
Daemon.
might. I don't know if he actually will. I don't know if Ikimoto would write it that way.
I hope not, but it would be funny.
It would be funny. I'll give you that.
I gotta hop out.
Yeah. One more thing, Ryzen, is because I've been meaning to say this for the past while, especially tonight, but also just for the past couple podcasts I've been listening to. So you, whenever you were talking about killing a character and how that we need that for the sakes because Yodo was enough, nobody cares about Yodo. First of all, I think that's a writing decision. I think we were supposed to care about Yodo, and Ikimoto just drastically failed in that regard, like in every possible regard.
That's your point, yeah.
but ignoring that, nobody cares about Yodo. That's the reality of the situation. So we need a main character to die that we're going to care about. I don't think that's necessary because for the exact same reason. What have been the stakes in the first 25 or whichever for the first 28 chapters where nobody has died up until now? Because I would argue the same thing. If there has been stakes
necessarily needed, I think a win for the other side is what's needed because you can argue that Sasuke got treed, but he's not dead. I think we need to justify the other side a bit because right now it feels like things are moving towards Boruto. So like. I'm going under the assumption that if someone gets devoured, they're dead.
So I would argue the other side. You can say that it's not wins that we would care about, such as Yodo's death, but I would argue the other side has got wins, plenty of wins at this point. The fact that Shinju revived in and of itself, I'm not going to necessarily say is a win for the other side, but it's a loss for the main character side. But things like Moegi being devoured, I'll say, is technically a win for the other side. They got Matsuri out of that, etc., etc. So and the fact, like, again, like chapter 13, like Jura did just snipe Boruto. He got Hidari Soulthorn back. The other side has got wins. You can say it hasn't amounted to anything, but it's made the struggle that the main characters have gone through entirely pointless, and that struggle itself came with risk. So they can't just do that endlessly.
I can definitely see that. That's definitely a fair take. I just want them to have like a push, like with the Akatsuki. We kind of saw that with them gathering the Jinchuriki in the background, or even just Asuma dying, or even just like getting people incapacitated. I feel like we need just one little thing to tip the balance away from Boruto, to have him kind of fall into that despair for a bit. That's just my personal opinion, and you're definitely right. It doesn't need a death. I just think we need to justify having consequences to Boruto's actions, because he saved Konohamaru, and so far the only consequence is potentially making Kawaki a bigger threat for the future. I kind of want there to be a consequence to his action of like kind of going against Koji. I want to see both sides have merit to where Boruto, him taking risks can help in the short term, but there has to be a trade-off where he can't have anything. That's just my opinion. That's what I kind of want to see. But you definitely do have a point.
Personally, I think the best way to up the stakes isn't going to be something like changing the established quo about like killing a character like Asuma or anything like that. I think just looking at what we've had in the past, some of the best ways to elevate that tension is by introducing a new concept and upping the scale beyond anything we even thought possible before, such as the 5 Kage Summit. Obito introduces the idea of the 10 Tails. That changes the playing field entirely. He basically flipped the table of the chessboard that we thought we were playing. No, he's been playing some other game this entire time, and we've basically been pawns all along. Something like that, to where it's an entirely another level, that's the stuff that I love the most. So I think that's the best way to go.
Which is why I hope we do get like a crumb of Otsutsuki stuff. Like I hope this leads into like some other Otsutsuki type villain. Like we still have the tablet, we still have Akemi on the
side. Exactly. So it's not even the explanation itself, it's the implications of introducing the thing. Because the 10 Tails, it was just mentioned, just name drop, but like the lore behind what that could possibly be, the potential behind it is drastic. In the same way, the feeling that you get when Sasuke first teleports to that Jigen's 10 Tails dimension, because we didn't know that Jigen had a 10 Tails, or that dimension existed, or those stone tablets existed, or anything like that, or the holograms, especially with Ishiki and Jigen, that there. Nothing was revealed there. They only asked questions. But that was the last time I really felt like there was a world-changing event happening before my very eyes.
Went up because now you realize that, we took care of Kinshiki and Momoshiki, at least in the short term, and Kaguya, but now we're finding out there's this whole other Otsutsuki, which leads us into Jigen, but then in the back of our minds, we still have those destroyed stone tablets that are just sitting in the corner. Why is there a 10 tails? And then we slowly get to learn what's been going on with Amato explaining the 10 tails, explaining Ishiki. And I really hope we get the next introduction to raise the stakes after the Divine Trees, because I think Mara said it, like it feels like a training arc. It feels like after we finally scrape by these threats, we're gonna get something that's gonna totally spike up the despair levels in the verse. But
Shibai was a good one. My only problem with that is that they're saying don't worry about him, he's not a threat. Unlike the Akatsuki at the end of part 1 of Naruto, where Jiraiya is saying, yeah, Naruto, they're gonna come after you in like 3 years from now. It's gonna happen. So I feel like that's a difference, considering Shibai was at the end of Boruto part 1.
Kind of like, if we take it off face value, Shibai right now has like literally no reason to interfere.
Exactly. Don't even know if he exists.
Right around like something a corner, like if you go, you'd have to go into circles and like explain it, because right now he's chilling in some other higher level of existence. He has no reason to interact with third dimensional beings at all.
Yeah, exactly.
But I gotta hop out. I got work tomorrow. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. I can't wait for that sneak peek tomorrow. If you guys want to talk about it, but I'll talk to you guys later.
See ya. Peace. But if anyone else has anything to say, free game, I think it's just us. I don't know if you're even there. I have to run. Thank you guys so much for having me. Good night, y'all. Oh, bye, Waver Ray. Even though you've been gone. And same with Black Uchiha, who's also gonna dip out for some Z's. So yeah, free game. I guess I guess that's it. So Cloud Ninja Podcast, how you guys doing? I guess I'll read chat. I'll read my own chat as well. I should probably do that. But let me just go to free games chat just really quick. Let's see here. Is it live on front page? No, it's not. Okay. Where is the Cloud Ninja Podcast on here? Right here. Yeah, that's weird. That's not saying that y'all are live. Oh, I bet you're on Twitch. I bet that's it. I bet you that's it. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I don't know if I can read old chat messages on Twitch. So sorry, guys. If you had anything to say, let me know now. Otherwise, I'm just gonna read my own chat. Hey, what's up, Bay Usaw and everyone? Hello, Space. Hello. I started late, like an hour late. So if you want to see the Clown Podcast conversation from before I started streaming, go over there and watch the first hour of theirs. I've been going live for 2 hours, so it's like you're missing 33% of the first half of the conversation, I guess. But yeah, been a while since we have a Walky Talky podcast and the Clown Ninja podcast together. You're not wrong, but I also feel like Bara was only there for like part of the time and he wasn't talking too much overly. And then Ryzen and Waverly and Juju were there. So it was hardly a Cloud Ninja podcast. It was Cloud Ninja podcast in name, but not in spirit. Especially with me there. But yeah. So we'll have to do that again and hook up and link up and do all that another time. What's up, Adam Andrade? What's up? Okay, let's start this over. What's up, guys? Hey, guys. Ooh, what's up? Shut. Very interesting. Wow, hey, okay. What y'all think the spoiler finna be? There we go! A comment that isn't hello for the 20,000. Good question. What is the spoiler gonna be? I'm gonna guess a page number. I feel like that's an interesting one. I'm gonna guess we're gonna get page 28 as the spoiler. It's not gonna be Boruto versus Mamushi. It's gonna be Kawaki talking via the Inoji new jutsu mind transfer thing that he's doing. He's going to be talking to someone. I don't know who. Maybe Ada, maybe Mitsuki. That's going to be my guess. It's going to be Kawaki not in a desperate pitch necessarily, but he's going to be like in he's going to have some sort of urgency. He's not going to be mid-combat yet. He's going to be maybe demanding even. Like, where's Mamushi? Tell me where he is. I'm going to rush over there right now and come on. And then it's going to be something like that. Or maybe if Mamushi's making a move in like a new vicinity, he's gonna try and rush over there to protect Ada or something. Maybe he'll meet up with Boruto or something. I don't know. He's gonna do something. That's my guess. That's gonna be my guess on the spoiler sneak peek. Mamushi also came faster since he did that too. But the timeline makes no sense considering he came in like 5 minutes and also like several days later. Yeah, chat comments every 40 minutes. Well, you know, it's what it is. Why y'all don't add comments to the screen? Well, to be fair, Free Game did. I could have saw your comment if you commented on Free Game's Twitch. Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay. Nothing on the Twitch side. With all 8 viewers not saying a single thing. You're just listening to me? What are you guys doing? Who's even watching? I bet it's most people that are just like playing a game in the background or with this in the background or something. But anyways, yo, good guess. Thanks, Zion. Any other questions you got for me before I end and inevitably leave Free Game to his lonesome while he's not here to end the stream? Oh, I gotta follow him over there. Yeah, I did that just the other week when he announced it on his whatever area. Yo, I float high. What's up, I float high? Well, I float high. If you have any questions, feel free to type them. I've been listening too. I thought so. Hey, I was right. Well, I float high. Are you doing anything in the background? Are you playing any games? Shout out Balloon Tower Defense, which recently got a DLC. I also got Mega Bonk, and I've been grinding that to 100%. But yeah, why are the viewers only going up? I'm just killing dead air for Free Game. You're welcome, Free Game. I guess I'm loved around here. People just love me. Remind me, Space, if you're still listening, that we got to do a My Hero Academia podcast with Ultra and Ace as soon as we can, because since they have a day in mind, I forget what it maybe was that tomorrow. It's one of these days. He's been on Fraud Watch since chapter 27, I heard. Well, I don't know who he is, but maybe. Oh, Daemon. Well, you heard wrong. Well, it's not that you heard wrong. You heard what someone said correctly. What they said is wrong. Gonna have to install Balloon Tower Defense 5. I mean, it's a W game. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of hours you can get out of there. Did you notice the Karma Seal on Akabi's pod? On the pod? That's interesting. Now I want to go back and double check that. It's probably just the design and not literally the Karma Seal, since Kawaki seemingly has just not done that yet. But let's find out. So it was what chapter? It was chapter 24, maybe? I also have to find a version that's going to actually work. And also, you can't see it on Free Game screen since I don't know how to share. Actually, wait, can I? Can I do that? I bet I can, actually. Can I share screen here somehow? Share screen? Oh, I can. Oh, look at that. There you go. Okay, Free Game. I'm giving you some visuals even. Oh, do you have to like accept it, or does it just automatically? Oh yeah, no. Okay, you have to like add it, but you're obviously clearly not here because otherwise you just didn't stream. So. Well, you know, it's fine, I guess. Karma Seal on Akabi's pod. Well, yeah, let's find out. Yeah, and we'll decide if he's actually a fraud or not in this upcoming chapter. Only one way to find out. Well, I guess anyone on Free Game's Twitch, if you want to just hop on over my stream really quick, just get to see if it's actually there in chapter like 24 or whatever chapter it was. If anyone remembers, feel free to tell me. I'm also really bad at finding it, so I just might not be able to find it. I'm just gonna check if it's like 3 chapters ago. Chapter 26, probably not, but we'll find out. Yeah, no, this is too late. It's not gonna be here. And then I don't know another website that it would be. So if anyone has any ideas, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, oh, well, shout out someone on Steam. Just the design, but foreshadowing, maybe. I don't know if that's how foreshadowing works, but I like what you're going for, like the idea there. Maybe a little bit cameo, Easter egg type of deal, or just a cool design in general, but who knows. I've been going back to chapter 75 through 80 to get a better understanding for Daemon's ability. Does he have to be touching someone to reflect, or does he reflect without touching anyone regardless? So it's both? Well, I guess it's just touching anyone regardless. He can touch someone, and you can argue that's a different aspect or ability of the reflection. But yes, he can reflect without touching anyone. Ignore what Bug said, he's wrong. pretty sure he only needs to touch someone to transfer the ability. I agree with that, and he can reflect anything. I agree. We still don't know the full conditions. Keto Maki thinks that you have to be looking at someone for like a different kind of reflection, because there might be a difference between the intent, the reflect intent, and the reflect action. Because I do think there's a difference to where he can reflect both, but there might be a difference of how he reflects one versus the other. To where if you intend to do something versus if you accidentally, per se, were to have harmed Daemon, then I think there's a difference of how that could be reflected. But just a possibility. But yeah, so that seemingly is all the questions. So we might just have to end it there. And since I'm the only one there, that's technically ending it for both streams, even though free game stream is just going to keep on going till he ends it anyways. One thing I can do is looking at the comments first tab. Again, this Twitch is not going to know this since you can't see my screen. But on my stream, the Walky Talky podcast, you find it on YouTube. I'll just read a comment really quick, I guess. I just want to find one that I want to read. Actually, I kind of do want to save these for Comweep. I don't know. I just realized that we only have tomorrow to do. Okay, so yeah, the My Hero Academia podcast is tomorrow. Well, anyone watching on Free Games Twitch, hey, there's a call to action. Go subscribe to the Walky Talky podcast, and you'll see a My Hero Academia podcast tomorrow. Yeah, trippy, bro. Pretty trippy. But I guess we'll just end it there. So, for the Cloud Ninja podcast, for those that don't know, we have an interesting outro over on the Walky Talky podcast. And yeah, the viewers are plummeting at this point, so I guess stalling for more time isn't really necessary. You kind of get the vibe and the gist to sort of just leave. So, for those who don't know, on the Cloud Ninja podcast, our outro has to do with Ikimoto. You know, the mangaka of Boruto. And there's a certain action that Ikimoto did that we like to say for our outro. And what that perhaps may be for certain would be Ikimoto failed. Stupid.